Dale, you're on mute, dude. No, still nothing. And there'll be a lynching if I'm left to fill the airtime. There you go. You're there now, dude. A bit more volume, mate. Don't panic. Don't panic. And you're there, dude.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah. All cool now, mate.
So I was sitting talking to my fucking self then. Is that what you're telling
me? Yep.
Sorry again, people. What was I saying? Hang on a wee minute. Right. I'm sorted out here, aren't I? Right. Aye, sorry I'm late. I was rushed at the last minute there. As I was saying, I had to go and get some more Satan symbols tattooed. I had to eat some babies. I had to fabricate some lies. I had to get my paycheck so that I can come and lie to you. What else have I been up to? Slandering people. These people have got me down. They've got everything. I'm a liar, I'm a manipulator, I'm trying to make money, I want to be famous, I'm a Satanist, I eat babies, I advocate eating babies and killing babies. These characters have got everything. Absolutely everything. Except one thing. Proof for a fucking globe. Oh, and I'm not supposed to be swearing. Apparently, swearing means something. So we've got every logical fallacy, Focus the man. What does he sound like? What does he look like? What emotion does he emit? Nothing else. Nothing. So the saga continues. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to have a wee look in chat. I don't even know who's coming on. If anybody is coming on, I hope so, because I'm not sitting here for hours talking. Marshall, you any requests?
Yeah, I've got people who've dialed in earlier today and yesterday are asking for a link, and they appreciate that. It may not be immediate. There could be another schedule, but I can fire out some links right now, dude, if you like.
No, don't file them out just now. I want to talk about a couple of things first, mate.
Okay.
One of the things I'm noticing, now everybody's aware of this wee kind of saga that's going on with these who I think are deliberate sophists and manipulators like Pears and the rest of the cronies. Now I've gone to their comment section and I'm seeing people who are, being kind of verbally abusive. I don't condone anything like that, right? This is not about battering people and, being violent towards people. At the end of the day, look at their content, question them on their logic, face them up and try and deal with the actual subject, right? I don't advocate, you're not representing me or anybody else involved with the truth if you're going and participating in that, that's exactly what they want. So you're not going to get that condoned for me. And at the same time, that's the other thing I was up to. I was barricading my door, putting bulletproof shielding on it, because apparently, in the last hangout, I had a comment from a chap who has created an account called Dell Littleman's Shed, and said that he was going to shoot me while I was on live on a Saturday night. So you might get a first there. But I've barricaded just to take extra precautions. I've got my missus sitting out there guarding just in case anybody comes to shoot me, right? But, I don't condone or advocate for any of that type of behaviour. Never have to. State it quite clearly from the beginning. Anybody who's entering into they kind of games, trying to sway each other by emotional means, are manipulative, right? This question is not going to be answered based on somebody's emotional insecurities or wishes or desires, right? So the characters who are constantly attacking, be wary of them, right? Now, people will say, you're getting involved with them, but you don't know the chronology of events, right? People need to remember that when I started this, I'm just me going about my business, and ever since you mention or question the shape of the earth, you've got all these characters, organised characters and groups who come out of nowhere to attack and try and shut you down. Now, the amount of screen grabs and the things that went on from Facebook in the early days are incredible. So these clowns can make out like we're the fanatics and the cult, all they fucking like, when we are simply people who are asking questions, right? That question is, what shape is the earth? We all share. The claim of it being a globe, there is absolutely zero proof for that. There is sophism, manipulative nonsense, and the desperation for people to cling to images when we've established quite clearly that images do not count. We had a chap on the other day, and the clowns, the sophists, think it's some sort of achievement because the guy asked me if I'd ever been to Mount Everest, and if you've not been to Mount Everest, do you believe that it's real? Well, you've got to look at the language and the words he's using. My response to that is, I don't believe anything, so it's not even a question. It's in my mind. It's irrelevant. It's a moot point. It means nothing, right? When you're trying to equate images from space to, do you believe Mount Everest is real? That's just a fucking total nonsense, right? I don't have to believe Mount Everest. Your question is totally irrelevant. So that's the nonsense we have to put up with. again, these clowns are continuing to make videos. From now on, I'm just going to ignore them. You can see, look at their content. All the days constantly attack the man. They don't offer you anything in the way of proof. They don't follow the progression of the discussion. They muddy the waters. They cause strain. They cause confusion amongst people, and that is exactly their job. So from now on, they're getting nothing here unless they come with actual proof. No drawings. Right, drawings of wee springs somehow proving that bodies of water are going to curve around a sphere. It's nonsense. Right? They don't have logic. It's not logical to assess the actual reality that we live in. Look at a natural element like water, understand its physical behaviour, how it operates, and then he suggests that at some unspecified larger scale that's all going to change. It's not going to change, right? And if they want to claim that it does, it's up to them to provide proof of that. Taking photographs across bodies of water, we know, we need to rein it back in. Don't run to the photographs. Oh, don't listen to these people who say a photograph proves something or a laser across the water proves something. Understand science and natural science. We can prove the physics of the water. Therefore, we know that any standing body of water that's not flowing anywhere will be level from one point to the next. Between two land masses, that body of water will be level. It's not going to be curving, right? So you don't need to measure across a body of water. You already know that the body of water is what it is. So you need to be wary of that. They will try and drag you into that. Let's make a device. You don't make a device that's less accurate than the thing you're trying to measure. It's nonsense, right? And as I say, drawings on a piece of paper of springs and wee squares with water contained within it is no anything. Right? I'm not going to waste too much time on that. The point being, I don't advocate any violence towards anybody. Engage them logically, just highlight them on their content. And I'll state clearly here for everybody to know, if you're engaging in that type of behaviour, you don't represent me or this platform, because these fucking idiots will try and use it. They're already starting it. Listen to them. Oh, this guy's got a bit of a following. He's fanatical. It's a bit of like a cult. It's a bit like trying to equate us to terrorists and baby eaters and these types of things. This is what they're slowly but surely. Well, not slowly but surely. They've already been doing it from the beginning, right? They want to act like they don't do that. They are very logical when these are the very people who instigated it. They stepped over the line because they have an agenda to protect. The only thing I'm protecting is the truth. I was quite happy to stand on my platform and do what I'm doing. These fuckers are the ones that come circling here. That should tell you something, right? So I don't know who they think they're kidding. They better have a serious look, because real people are cottoning on. Real people are waking up in numbers, right? I know that they're going to be strained with the amount of numbers that are already waking up. So the platform's always open for them if they have anything to offer. Stop making hit piece videos. Hit piece videos is no logical. It doesn't progress the discussion. The objective reality that we all share can only be discussed. You shouldn't be sitting on one side of the fence and somebody on the other side of the fence. It should be people coming together who understand science and what the actual question is, and then working through it. Now, the people who don't participate in that type, then we know they're players or they're stupid. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. People who can have discussion, right? We need to understand what we're talking about. We start from the principle of water is level, right? Anybody who wants to deny that, we can't move any further in the discussion with them, right? If they want to deny the reality that we're all observing, then there is no discussing with them. They're mentally ill. Just move on for them. So, if you see any of these characters making videos, just remind them that the platform's here and every one of them is welcome to come and prove their globe, right? There's nobody here will shy away from that, regardless of what they try and say. Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say about a wee minute, was it? Aye. Marshall, if anybody's wanting a link, mate.
Okay, cool, dude. I think we got another countryman, Tam's, looking to come in, so I'll link him first. And I think RJ was going to have something to say as well, so I'll link him.
All right, cool. So you need to be wary of that. As I say, these fuckers who are on that side of the fence, because remember, we're not on any side of any fence. We're sitting right in the middle saying, let's have a discussion and let's, take this to another level, right? They're getting aggressive, abusive, they're getting more intensive. As I say, somebody's telling on there that they're going to shoot you live. What for saying that the Earth's not a globe? It's a wee bit extreme, that. For talking about extremism, yeah. Butt hurt, wee bit of butt hurt, methinks. Good. Hope you feel the sting, because people like me and everybody else who's been involved in this for a few years have had to put up with the majority of used clowns, right? With the abusive attacks, taking family pictures, putting disgusting things over them, trying to blacken your name, trying to misrepresent you, claim things like you support child abuse and all these fucking things. These clowns are the ones who stepped over the line way before any of us retaliated. Right? So don't forget that, people, and don't get caught up in the poor innocent me. There's people who have had to put up with a lot of shit for the last few years, and I can only respect them for it because I know how intense it can get. Right? So these are the extremists, these clowns. This is about a discussion. This is about science, right? No fanatics. People who want to discover the objective reality that they're sharing. We have that right to understand it and to discuss it openly without ridicule, right? You need to stand up for that and be strong in it, right? Don't pander to these clowns. So, hello people in chat. Richard Atkins, the water thing is the ultimate globe destroyer. If you deny the water finds its level, you are mentally sick. Simple as. Well, it is. It really is that. It's, simple as that. You must be mentally ill, right? Because beyond any shadow of a doubt, you can test that water liquid to your blue in the face on Earth, in the natural environment that we're talking about, that we're trying to prove. And these people's at Sparkane something. I heard about a challenge, and you get these people trying to respond with ridiculous challenges. Well, my challenge to, this illogical chap would be that the physics of water are undeniable. I can show, I put this challenge out to them all before, we talk about modelling and we talk about, representing the claims accurately. So let's agree on a wee challenge, Mr. Skane or Sparkane, whatever your fucking name is. You build a realistic model of your claim using the actual elements of your claim, and let's see how far you get. And I will do the same, and we'll see how far I get. You will fall at the first hurdle, sir, because you cannot get your oceans on your fucking globular potato, right? It is not scientific. It's a religious nonsense, right? People are clinging to it desperately because of these images. That is the biggest hurdle for people, when they're only images, right? The same would be true if I had a group of 500 men and we produced images of whatever we liked, telling you that we could reach another dimension using our, time traveling technology. But you have to be highly trained in order to use this technology, and only a few get to use it. And then I create a fancy building and I start producing, cartoons. It's not on. It's nonsense, right? We need measurable things when we're talking about the natural world. So the fact that it's covered in water, the fact that there is zero curvature anywhere, and all that the globe offers is sophism and nonsense images. So I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I've had a wee smoke today, so I maybe just fall into that.
I've got links out though. I'm not sure. Tam, if you're there, dude, check your mail. Otherwise,
Tam, what's the name?
Tam Scotland.
Tam Scotland. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the trolls chat buddies or something. We'll find it.
RJ was being courteous and waiting on. He should have a mail. He should have the link from me as well. If you haven't got it, RJ, let me know in the chat box.
No, we've got an account, the flying spaghetti monster. If you can produce images of the spaghetti monster, I will believe it is true. I will take that as scientific. So again, I'll just like to reiterate these points. We are not religious. Well, I'm not religious here. For me, this platform represents the common man and his quest for understanding and discovering the actual world that we're sharing. For me, there was absolutely zero proof that the Earth is a sphere, and there still is zero proof that the Earth is a sphere. The proofs for me, like water, lack of curvature anywhere, suggests to me strongly that it's a level plane. And no suggests, proves to me beyond any shadow of a doubt that what we are living in is a level plane that must be being contained somehow by whatever. I'm not claiming it's an ice wall or any of these things, but that claim can be made because the place is covered in water. We understand water must be contained, right? We understand that the water will take the shape of its container, right? It will not conform to the exterior of any shape. So that is a fact, a fundamental fact of reality that anybody denying is either mentally ill or deliberately lying. So we need to start from that foundation and then move forward and look at the rest of it. But again, it's a bit of discussion.
Derek Buchanan's in chat. Derek, if you're set up to come in and have a chat about your
move forward and look at the rest of it.
RJ, can you mute your watch page, please?
Got it.
Nice one, dude. Yeah, Derek, if you want to come in a bit later and talk about your activism, dude, I got your mail yesterday. I'm sorry I didn't reply, but I thought maybe you'd turn up today, so it'd be cool to hear from you.
Seen a few channels with activism recently. Was it one this morning I seen? Issa Malaski, I think, he had done some street interview stuff as well.
Excellent, man. Well,
aye, good on you. Everybody keep it up. RJ, are you there, man?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
How you doing?
Hey, did you see that video with that plane, that U-2 plane that just went up the other day? The guy's up there, and it's a perfectly flat plane. The thing banks a right-hand turn, and you can see probably, I would guess, 15,000 miles of just flat horizon.
Wow, have you got a link to that, RJ?
15,000 miles seems a bit.
Let me find that for you now.
I think I know the one you're talking about. Is this the one where it's like flying next to an ice shelf?
He's got the round window and the little antenna sticking off the left front of the plane.
I think so. I think I seen that a few days ago.
It's awesome. When he takes that right turn, if you think about how much land mass goes by when he takes that right bank, I can't even imagine how many miles of horizon are going by, and there's no indication of a curve whatsoever. There's no fisheye lens on the camera, pure, unadulterated, beautiful footage. It just proves flat. That height and no curve, it totally blows away the ball theory. It's just all there is to it.
Yeah.
There's no other deduction. Let me find that thing. Here it is. I'm going to put the link in the thing.
Cool.
Oh, shit. Hang on. Excuse my language, please.
Don't worry about that.
Oh, I don't have a wrench. I can't put that in there.
People are worried about language and they're being lied to about where we fucking live, you know? I mean...
I try to put the link. I don't have a wrench. You want me to email it to you?
You can put it in the group chat on the side of this video screen, dude, and I'll pick it up from there.
All right, that's on my phone. Hang on. Yeah, I'll just email it to you. It's easier. Reply.
Somebody, Robert, you're trying to call me right now, and I'm already in a hangout. If you're looking to chat, you have to go to the chat box on the YouTube and let us know an email address. No, send an email, nocurve@gmx.com. and you'll get a link to come directly into this hangout. It's the same for anybody else who's listening. If you've got something you want to say, just send an email to that address that I gave there, nocurve@gmx.com.
Hey, Marshall, did you get that? I emailed it back to that.
Yeah, I got it, dude. I'm queuing it up. I'll throw it up on screen once I've got it queued up, yeah?
Beautiful. Oh, hey, Dill, you ever get carpal tunnel, man?
What's that, mate?
You ever get carpal tunnel in your hands?
Off the bike, sometimes.
Pain, man.
Sorry, mate, I'm just getting distracted here by this. Hang on a wee minute. Cool, Robert. You'll need to send the email if you can hear this. So, how's things, RJ? What's been happening? Have you been keeping up with events recently?
I don't watch any TV, but pretty much, just stuff going. Oh, yeah, with Hillbilly, man. My head hurts from all that shit. I even went to the Angel one, and they were playing your events, everybody's. It's one big argument out there.
So what's happening with Hillbilly?
He was fighting with some guy, Sly, something. It was comical.
Oh, that's the name I seen. Sparky. They seem to be banding together now, these wee groups. As I say, as the numbers are growing, they're having to band together and show their colours. You can see them running around in their little groups talking nonsense. They really need to stop this us against them mentality. It should never be us against anybody. It's about the natural world. It can only be a discussion. And anybody who's not willing to have discussion, as I say, is either stupid or, deliberately trying to muddy the waters, push an agenda.
Yeah, they get people fighting and it takes the focus off the stuff you were doing, like getting out there where you were getting out there. I got kind of pissed off because I went and watched that guy myself. I fell into the trap because he was saying, Dell's going out and he's demanding people answers. I'm like, Dell doesn't demand anything from anybody. He has intelligent conversations with people and simply, he's talking to people. I told the guy, I'm like, he doesn't demand shit from anybody.
Well, that's just part of their MO, as I say, look at their behaviour. I've already discussed, logical fallacies and these types of characteristics and traits. And that is all they do. They focus continually on me, misrepresent you, tell lies about you, and then wonder why you get pissed off and fucking call them a couple of names.
Right. He deserved it.
I call a spade a spade.
He definitely provoked it. It's like he wants you to get mad, you know what I mean? He's pushing it. And anybody, all his shit starts out, well, if this or if that and if this and if that. And I said to him, I wrote in the thing, excuse my language, I'm like, if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. That doesn't make her my uncle. It was kind of funny, too. I'm just trying to get the point across. You know, the if thing just gets you nowhere. Excuse my language to the ladies out there and whoever.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, the problem with them is that they've nothing to debunk in regards to the videos. You know, all they have is an opinion, and it's based in nothing. They offer no rebuttal whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. They don't have any practical examples for any of these claims that I'm highlighting. They just have guys with, you know, sophisticated voices and little drawings. I mean, you know, it's just total crap. I'm not trying to say to them, look, can we move beyond that? I'm a practical guy, you know. You know, if I want to understand how an engine works, I don't sit and draw on a piece of paper and sprinkle fairy dust on it. You know, I need the practical in order for me to expand my understanding and move on with the reality, you know.
Right.
When you get these people telling you things that go totally against your practical understanding and your practical observations, but yet they keep coming at you. It's, I'm sure people know what a PO is. You know, these people epitomise it, you know, where it's like, I think they've convinced themselves that much. They know it's not true. They know that they're at it, but they've got into the character so much, you know, that they actually believe their delusion in their mind, you know. But recently, you know, people can see clearly how stupid and transparent they actually are. It's great. I've went to some of the comment sections and I can see that there's people there giving them a hard time and pulling them up on the content, which is great. I don't agree with anybody just going there and calling them, you know, cum buckets and fucking, you know, all this kind of stuff. That's just not going to, you know, represent us very well. So
you got to let them know why you're posting your thought, you know.
Yeah.
If he came around and just watched for a while, like I did, he would understand what's going on.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you know, it's in the content. You know, if people understand, you know, and I've said it to people so many times, refute what I'm saying. The natural world, the objective reality that we all share, cannot be about a debate. It can only be discussed. So then you whittle down what the actual, you know, proofs and facts of the situation are, and you promote that. And anybody who's wandering from that, you know that there's something wrong. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, did Marshall get that video or not?
Yeah, was it not sharing, dude? Hang on 2 seconds.
It was no share. You know what I can do? I have a copy of it. I can send you the raw copy that I took myself.
No, there you go. Dal, if you share my screen, it's playing now.
Okay,
I just see not playing right now. It's just the bear, the little dude. What is that thing anyway? Puppy?
So
there it is.
I mean, what is this footage and whose is it? You know, where did it come from? Does anybody know?
Huh?
Does anybody know whose footage this is? Where did it come from? What's the source of it?
It's a YouTube playing. That's all the guy says. It's I don't know where he got that from because they usually don't let that stuff out. It's a YouTube spy plane from what I understand. And those things climb up there.
We don't have an altitude or anything to reference it by.
No, it just came out April 11th, 4 days ago.
What camera are they using? What's the lens like? What's the shield like? The window shape that they're looking through? I mean,
yeah, right. That's a good question. The guy's name is Valdez Carbon, or Carbon, whatever. My wife says Carbon.
Get it along a bit, kind of near at the end. I'm sure it turns, and you can see. I'm sure I watched this, and you see how the horizon line starts to warp and change as it comes run through the screen.
What? He's gonna bang a hard right. It's 30 minutes. About halfway, he bangs a hard right, and he just keeps taking the right, and the horizon just stays straight. How many miles, Del, would you guess you can see on that horizon right there? What would you guess the miles of a horizon are if you had to take a rough guess? Would you say 500 miles?
Maybe less than that, I think. I don't know.
That's something that I would like to find out. Because if you could figure that out and you get something like this that takes a 3-minute bank right-hand turn, you could judge the distance of flatness, you know? I don't know. Towards the end of the video, huh?
I'm sure towards the end of this, as it moves, the horizon shape starts to change because of the window.
Yeah, I don't know how high he is there, but he was up there for a while.
Yeah.
It looks like he's coming back down now. He's doing some banks to come down. Excuse me 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Yep.
Yes, not enough information to go with it, though. I'm not sure about the write-up. I didn't get a chance to check that.
No, it's just the same as everything else. It's just a bit of video footage that, you know, at the end of the day, we've established, you know, the video footage is high altitude balloons. There's so many contradictions with lenses and whatever else, but all good. So I would encourage you again, people, you know, if you've got something to say, let us know. The only reason I do this is for the people. Saturday night's for you to say whatever you like. I've already had a wee smoke, so don't expect too much from me. And then, just to address the point of cults and followings and blah, 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 I don't need to see it. It's not about me. Nobody should be following or waiting for us. This is just a place for people to congregate and have their say if they want. But open to anybody. So cult mentality is the type of people who make hit piece videos and run away and just continue to stick out propaganda and slander and lies and then don't ever come and face you. So that's cult mentality. That's people who have a lie to protect and they want to keep you under that lie. If they had truth and they had something solid to offer, they would stop with the hit piece videos. This would not drag on. They would come and they would offer it and it would be game over. End of story. Right? But the opposite is true. They should be realising that the game is over for them. No, Pete, I'm not stoned out my box. I have a wee smoke at night, but I don't really abuse it. So that's another, pot smokers in their sheds. Again, focusing on the man, focusing on irrelevant points, it still does not produce curvature. Right? They can focus on everything they like, but the fact will never change that it's not a sphere and they have nothing. So they can continue, as long as they're focusing on me, because it's never going to bother me and get to me emotionally. They can focus on me to their heart's content. If they're focusing on me, they're leaving other people alone. So I'm happy with that. And in doing so, they will expose themselves. What's that, mate?
The White Wedge has managed to make it in this week, dude.
White Wedge, how you doing?
You might be muted or your mic's not running.
White Wedge, if you can hear us, you may need to drop out and try again. Have we got many requests for the link, Marshall?
I've got I've took the links out to Chaz Ween as well. So with Chaz, if you're available, do drop in, no man, if you like. I think White's still sorting out his tech here, dude. We had a little chat through the email about setting up, so a few startup problems there.
Cool.
And I've got a few other people who'd like to come in as well, but obviously, we'll give guys the time first, yeah.
Tam Scotland, Dell 24-hour moon. Well, that brings up a point. I took a video recording 2 nights ago. We took a walk late at night. It must have been about 10:30, maybe going on to 11:15, and we went to the petrol station. Anyway, at that time, in my horizon, just above my eye level, the moon was coming into the my sky. The sun had been gone for 2 hours, but the moon was fully lit.
Can you hear me now?
The moon was fully lit. So if the moon's coming fully lit and the sun has set 2 hours ago, I think they have a serious problem there.
Yes.
Right, somebody needs to mute their watch page.
Email about setting up. So
can you hear me now? Or?
Yeah, White. Can you mute the YouTube page that you've been watching on, because you'll be able to hear it back through this Hangout. Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Yeah. So close down the other page.
Yeah.
That brings up a point. I took a video recording 2 nights ago. Took a walk at night.
Oh no, I'm having problems there.
No, that's cool. No, we can hear you now.
White Wedge, it's the YouTube thing. You just need to turn the volume down on YouTube if you're watching it on there. And then
Think he's got it.
Yeah, you think you need to unmute yourself now?
Is that better?
Yeah, excellent.
Jazz,
that's working.
Yeah, Jazz, how you doing, mate? I'll let White Wedge just have a wee chat quick, and then I'll get to you, man.
Right now. Yeah, good to speak to you, mate. Yeah.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me? Right, cool. Okay, how's it going? All right.
Yeah, I'm all right, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I'm not used to doing this kind of thing, but been doing a lot of work recently on the Gleason's map, and fascinating how I don't know if you've heard of John Bradbury, Flat Earther. A couple of Flat Earth channels have put his work on actually recently in the channels, but anyway, it's on YouTube, and he says that the Antarctica is 60,000, and you can actually break it down. So if you on the outer perimeter of Antarctica, each one of those miles is it's basically like a hand clock. So it's 24 hours. So each hour would be 2,500 miles. To the equator, that would be half that distance at 1,250 miles, and you can then do the calculations from that Gleason's map to the Google map, for example, in calculation. So I think the Gleason's map is pretty accurate. What I've had with that map is Australia. It doesn't work whatsoever. It doesn't work. The time distance from getting to Australia from for example New Zealand, Auckland to Santiago, still working on that. I think that's the major flaw of the Gleason's map. But if you look at the distances, it does actually equate to how the Gleason's map works. So yeah, I don't know if you had any thoughts on that. If you looked into that at all, or
no, I kind of gave up with the map and stuff. Me and Matty started trying to build our own kind of map thing, but yeah, it's based on information that they'd given us that we couldn't really verify in any way. Now that there's more numbers, I think it'd be more achievable. But as I say, you know, I veered away from any of the maps and models and never gave any of them much attention and focus. I thought to myself, you know, it'd be better if we have more people awake, and then we have a better chance of making proper discovery about what the full dimensions are, where everything is. So it's really not a study that I've been involved in. I know there's loads of people, you know, who are involved in it, and there's different factions, you know, straight liners, circulars, but I don't know, I've not seen anything inclusive enough. The only thing I can say is I spoke to a relative of mine who lived in Sweden for a long time, who has said to me that they witnessed a 24-hour sun. So that would suggest to me that it's going to be visible for 24 hours, that it must be, you know, circling or maybe moving in a sequence of straight lines. I don't know what it means, but
yeah. Well, in the north, obviously that's possible, isn't it?
Excuse me, White. Could I just cut in here because Dale's still got the camera locked on me.
That's it.
I'm not sure. I can't see. Yeah, sorry to interrupt there, White.
No problem.
That's all right. Yeah. Just saying. In the northern hemisphere, 24-hour sun is documented pretty well. That's for sure. However, images of these videos, I'm sure you've seen of Antarctica, 24-hour sun. I don't know if you guys, well, you probably do know that, obviously, but they have been proved to be fake. Yeah. Because that would obviously demolish the flat Earth model. Well, I say the model, just the true shape of the Earth. I hate using that kind of that phrase, but
well, they hoped it would destroy it.
They've been faked.
Yeah. That's why it was important. That's why it was important for me to, you know, push to people, don't adopt any model until we have something solid, some solid grounding. You know. But I seen the videos and I seen the debunkings of them where it had been edited. I think there was anomalies with the shadows on the right or something, or the same cloud.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah. Pretty faked over and over again. That's why I think you don't really hear a lot about it, because they've been debunked that they're fake all day long. So, but yeah, I'd recommend anyone to look in. I think we should look at it as a practical thing. The map does make a lot of sense, especially towards the more from the equator in, if you know what I mean. It makes a lot of sense. But the equator out, I think that the whole map is a 24-hour clock, and you can actually see all the hours. And like I said, it's John Bradbury, and then Summit Shenton, the guy that originally did the Flat Earth Society. It is a 24-hour clock, and the sun goes around in that fashion.
Starts on the side, right? Like at 9 o'clock. Sorry. So the 24-hour clock starts on the right-hand side, right on like 3 o'clock. What 3 o'clock would be?
No, I think it starts obviously GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, is there's a line going through London and virtually Paris as well. It goes all the way to the bottom, so that would be zero hours, and then as it goes round, it then increases or decreases. That's how you get the time zones. So, for example, going round from, you can imagine a line from London down to the bottom of the map, increase, going towards America, the hours would increase that way, and then it decrease going towards the east. But going towards what we class as east, that's how they reduce that way. That's how you get the different time zones. But yeah, I don't know what your take is on that, RJ.
That's a crazy map. I know that. It's got a lot of hidden details in it.
It has.
Right down to the date what's written on it. The 10-4 that was significant to some guy. I can't remember what. Something with his code thing that he was into.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, there's a lot of things when you look into the map, actually. Really interesting. I mean, I've got it as a screensaver on my computer, and every time I want to reference the map, I just minimize what I'm looking at. Well, I'd recommend everyone to do that, so it's on their computer and they can look at it and make of it what they will. But like you just said, there's a lot of on there. If you really study the map, it is quite interesting. I think there is importance there. I understand what you're saying, Dale, that the first thing we should do is try and wake up everyone to realise that we don't live on a globe. I think there's a lot of interesting points on the Gleason's map. Yeah. However, there's a stumbling block with Australia. It just doesn't. There's something wrong with that. But
my stance has always been that, it's fine if people are working on things. It's just when people start claiming and setting camps up and defending this model and that model, for me, that's suspicious behaviour. It's fine if people are working on models or trying to work things out, but it's the people who come claiming that that's the way it is that's an issue for me. I think the models that I've seen of the Gleasons, it's always cartoony looking, and the scale doesn't ever look right anytime anybody has shown it in regards to the size of the sun in comparison to the Earth. It's always like this dish, and they say the sun's 3,000 miles away. Well, I've not seen any solid proof to say that the sun's 32 miles across and 3,000 miles away. To say it's 3,000 miles away just doesn't seem right to me either. And again, something that's 3,000 miles tall.
We don't know, do we?
If it's 3,000 miles high, then you could go to altitude and still see it in the distance. It's a bit ridiculous. But I knew there was problems with it, and people had counter arguments, and there was contradictions. So for me, I realised right away that it just wasn't important in my journey. But I understand that people work on maps and models, and that's fine. It's just I always had a problem with people claiming they were true.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, we literally don't know, do we? Is what you're trying to say. But
it's just
there is. Yeah.
Go on. There is substance to them all, But I just felt if we have enough people awake, different parts of the world, different skills, then we could start to get there a bit quicker, rather than just a few. It was so difficult. I think last year the sun tracking things that people were trying was a lot more difficult because you had less people involved. So, I don't have an issue with the question. Everybody should be. I just wanted to say something as well about how so many people in the flat Earth movement are saying about the ice wall. Really want to clear this issue up, really, because for one, no one's seen a big ice wall. For two, we know certain places on Antarctica have not got an ice wall because you can go and visit it. You can go and do that, and you don't need an ice wall to contain water. No.
We need an ice wall around England to contain the water, to stop the water from coming onto England.
Yeah.
At the sea, there'd be a huge mountain, wouldn't they, coming onto England, onto dry land.
Yeah.
If you drained all the water out of the seas, there'd just be huge mountains going up. And within there, you don't need an ice wall to contain water.
And who says there is an ice wall? You know what I mean? Everybody automatically assumes an edge. As soon as you mention that flat Earth, they assume an edge.
Yeah,
who says there is an edge?
These are concepts. People have got ridiculous concepts, and because they've been shown a globe their whole life and it's a complete picture, they've got this mentality of I need to see the whole thing. You might never be able to see the whole thing. What if it goes on forever?
Well, that's the point I was trying to make. I don't know if RJ picked that up, but I was trying to make the point that there doesn't need to be an ice wall.
No.
There's a shore in Antarctica, which we know there is because people have visited there. There's only certain places you can visit in Antarctica. Ice wall to contain the water. Like I say, it's like saying we need an ice wall around England to stop the water coming on, or around the UK or whatever you want to say. That's not the case. The water's contained. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but like I say, if you drain the water out, you would see it going above the water, wouldn't you? Contained. That's how water contained.
It could be land that's contained. It could be anything. It could be the outer shell. We could be inside a sphere and it's the outer shell that's containing it. I mean, it could be anything. That's the point. That's why for me we need that exploration and we need it in mass. If we're going to stand a chance of finding out full dimensions and what's really there. Otherwise, we're just going to chase our tails.
Yeah. Good point. Another thing I wanted to mention as well, actually, is just how to deal with flat Earth with friends and family. I'm sure a lot of people on here have had the same experience. I've got friends that will not listen to me whatsoever, and they believe in the globe, and that's all they're ever going to believe in. And when I mention it, they'll just literally shoot me down and shout, get very angry. And then family as well. I've also had my sister actually, my ex-girlfriend as well, she pretended to be into flat Earth just to shut me up, really. It's like, I know the Earth's flat, just leave me alone, And it's like, do you find it amazing? Do you not want to know? And some people literally do not want to know. They don't want to. Some people don't care. Literally, they don't care.
No.
And it's hard to imagine. I think deep down, but spiritual tale. But for me, it's made me. Well, I think it's all tied in personally. So it's made me realise there's no such thing as evolution. We were definitely created. Artificial. That's brought that to me. So I think it's all tied in as well. Not from what I've seen, just from what So yeah, I know you don't agree with that, but that's
don't agree with what that the reality being some sort of creation or design.
Yeah, and you're not really religious. I'm not religious, but you don't.
You don't have to be religious to be intellectually honest enough for yourself to realise that you can't have something from nothing. And that for me, I've stated clearly mind has to be the forefront of any reality or any experience, whatever that is. My problem again is just with the claims that people make. They take a stance and then defend, whatever it is they wish to be true. And I feel as if it can be discovered, But of course, I don't look at reality and think to myself, "Oh, this just happened by random chance." I mean, I think anybody who really assesses the situation they're in and comes up with that is in denial. But I don't need a security blanket.
Agree with evolution then, I suppose.
RJ, can you mute me? Because I can hear you typing away there, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm saying something.
Sorry, Whitewitch.
We did touch upon the point now, I think it was last week actually, but I'd encourage anyone to look at, you did mention the guy's name, I'll mention his name, Rob Durham's test. Gyroscopes fundamentally prove that there's absolutely no spin and they would not work on a plane. If a plane was going around a globe, independent to any movement. So if a plane was dipping its nose down, the gyroscope is free to move in space. And it's just very important to believe that.
Recommend we check out Rob Durham's channel. He shows some experiments with the gyroscope, and he even offers to send you the gyroscope so that you can do the experiment yourself, and the promise that you will send it back. So if you're an honest person and you want to, test it for yourself, then check out Rob Durham.
I don't know if you've watched the later one than that though, Dale. That was his original video, right. And he got a gyroscope, which is a pretty good quality one, and he had loads of trolls or people that didn't want to listen to what he was saying, and they were saying, "Oh, at the end of the day, that's a kid's toy. It's not accurate." So he went one step further. He got a gyroscope from a plane. It's about 400 to 500 pounds worth second hand. He got one of those, which is air pressured, put it in his car with an air tank in the back of his car to prove that it was working. Went back to his home. You could not see the gyroscope moving as the Earth was supposed to be turning. Okay, so there's no measurable spin of the Earth whatsoever, and a gyroscope would show that.
Yeah,
so it completely destroys it.
Yeah, that was a wee thing I started thinking about, and I'm not sure on the tech and how things work. But if people agree that the Earth should curve at a rate of 8 inches per mile squared, now what do they suggest that happens with say I take a drone, whatever, and I set it at 100 meters above a level water, and then we start flying it at, based on we're going to start bringing it down 8 inches per mile squared on flight, and let's see if it keeps with the curve of the Earth or if it actually crashes into the Earth. I don't know if I've got it right in my mind yet, but I think there's something there that could maybe be done. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Why would you need the height?
What do you mean?
Why would you need a certain height?
Well, what are they suggesting? Are they suggesting that an aeroplane's flying and automatically accounting for the curvature of the Earth? I mean, what does the pilot have to consciously account for it? Is it automatic, or is it their magical force that keeps it at the same altitude? I mean, I don't know what they're suggesting. I forget now.
I'm losing you a bit there. If you can still hear me, okay. But it's a good point you made there, actually, because a lot of people say about planes, they'll say, "Oh, it's to do with gravity, how they maintain their level with Earth." Okay, which we both know that's complete bullshit. However, how do you explain the submarines? Now, underwater, there's no such thing as gravity. Okay, there's buoyancy. Okay, so how do you explain a submarine with the Earth's surface if we lived on a globe? That doesn't happen on a submarine, and that's something.
That'd be experiment.
Something the globers can't explain away is submarines, which we all forget about actually. But it's a good point, I think. Yeah. I don't know what your take is on that.
Sorry, man, I get distracted there. You were breaking. Watch page.
Hey, whatever happened to that? Who's echoing? That's not me.
I'm getting an echo from everybody right now. Are you getting the same echo from me?
No, it's gone now. So that wee experiment I was trying to suggest there, I'll think about it, but there's something in it. I'm sure there is. I'll think it over and suggest it again when I've got it clear in my mind. So, Tam, Scotland, are you guys gone again?
Hey,
I've got a link out to Callum who has got a point to make about trolls, though. So Callum wants to drop in while we're waiting for whoever it was that dropped the link just now.
Okay, guys, I don't know if you can still hear me, but I'll probably bail out now, but thanks for the time.
Any problem, mate?
Yeah, I've enjoyed speaking to you, and hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Any problem. Sorry about that, mate. I was a bit distracted there, and my mind's not quite with me tonight, so...
That's right, Dave. You take it easy, mate. See you the weekend.
Take it easy, man.
Cheers. In a bit. Thanks, guys.
Take care, bro. Hey, who's that Dave? Remember Dave? Dave, the guy that had that video where he's talking about, it was one of the first ones out there, too, before. I can't remember his name. Dave, the black guy. Remember he has a couple videos. He's from England. Very soft-spoken. Huh?
Dave Murphy.
Breaking up. Very soft-spoken guy.
Dave
I
Murphy.
haven't seen or heard anything from him in a while.
Well, there's a few that I've not heard or seen of. In my perspective, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if anybody knows. I heard rumours about the guy Aaron Dover passing away.
No. Oh yeah, what happened to him, man?
Not sure.
What, he fell off a building or something? They're saying.
Don't know. I don't listen to the stories, mate. You know, I don't know for sure. So. But, you know, if people are under any illusions, you know, as this gets more intense, they'll ramp it up. You know, as I say, you know, getting death threats from fucking non-entities and, you know, this is the tactics they're going to start turning to, you know.
Yeah.
Callum, how you doing?
That's why you got to worry, man, and watch your back with these people. They don't care. You know, they don't value life at all. Like my country, America right now, they're trying to take over that pipe right there. And they don't care about how many kids they got to kill to do it. They need to stop. We need to vote that these politicians, when they want to go to war, they need to send one of their own kids to the front line so they think twice about what they're sending over. I'm sorry, I just get so pissed off when they do that shit.
Part of the main spirit, you know. Callum, can you hear me? There, Callum.
Hey, Del, thanks for having me on. I got a couple things to take care of this afternoon. It's great to be on. I'll talk to you soon.
Nice one, RJ, man.
Take it easy, mate.
All right. I sent you another video, Marshall. If you get a chance, watch that. It's very interesting.
I'll take a look afterwards, dude. Thanks a lot for that, man.
All right, brother. Bye, guys. Happy Easter, man.
Yeah, and you. Callum, you're live on air, dude. Can we do a mic check, please? You're muted at the moment, dude.
No, Callum's not there. I think there's something wrong with your mic, Callum. You've got it on mute as well. You there? No. So, what's happening in the chat? Have we got any links out? Has anybody got anything to say?
Well, I've got two other links out, dude, and some more people asking. But again, I need to stagger this so people get a chance to get themselves together and jump in. Unfortunately, this evening, other people seem to be having technical problems, which is stalling things a little bit.
Yeah.
Callum, if you want to drop out and try coming back, maybe that'll solve you. We got video now. No, we got no mic. It's probably best to drop out and come back. To use the link again and come back in.
I'm just going to go to chat just now while we're waiting to see what people are saying. If you get any questions, anything you want to say from chat, I'm having a look right now. Question Everything has sent a request for a link. Free McHitarian, how to join. You have to send an email to nocurve@gmx.com. Callum's took a whitey. Jedi Sentinel, unless artificial intelligent life forms have assimilated us and we unknowingly channel their thoughts. Could be anything. That's the point. You know, if people, you know, we talk about spirituality and religions, you know, for me, these things only would have came about if we had lost touch with how this came to be from the beginning and the actual, you know, historical story. You know, that is why you would have a religion and have opposing religions and varying religions, because they're substitutes for knowing the actual objective truth. So for me, you know, I understand why people, you know, choose their religions. But for me, I don't need the security blanket. I'm quite comfortable to stand and say, I don't know. I don't want a security blanket. I would rather try and discover, you know. And for me, it's no internal, right? We're in a state of confusion. We don't even know the foundations of where we are. In order for me to get closer to what I am spiritually or whatever, I need to establish exactly where I am first. That's the steps for me that has to be taken. If we can establish where we are, it will start to give us a whole, you know, bigger clue as to who we are and why we're here. And whatever it is, as I says to the chap that was on before, I'm not a materialist. I don't buy a naturalistic explanation the way they want to offer it, like big bangs producing matter and gases and clumping together, and then soups creating, intricate cells and, self-replicating. It just doesn't add up for me. There is zero practical example of that. They can't create something from nothing. They can't even produce a seed or anything, without first taking it from already existing life. Right? So that information doesn't just randomly appear from nowhere. And for me, it's designed, it's deliberate, and it's intended. But what that is, I do not know, and I don't subscribe to anybody's claims to know what it is. Right? It might make sense to them and who they are and where they are at that moment in time, but for me, it doesn't make any sense. I would much rather try and discover it and know what it is, rather than sit still, making guesses, arguing with other people, because that's exactly what they want. They don't want you up off your arse exploring.
It looks like Callum is actually having some problems with his connection now. I hope for truth your links out. Can I just say to the peeps in chat, I am working through the mails in order, so just please don't get upset with me if it's not instant, because as you can imagine, there's more people. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Hi, Hope.
It's no so.
Everyone, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, cool.
Oh, sweet. I remembered to mute the mic on YouTube this time.
Nice one.
How are you, Del?
How are you, man?
I'm doing okay, thanks, mate. But really, still recovering from the laughter from yesterday watching your video. I'd asked you at the end of the chat to do a video of the piss take with drawing, and then I realised that you'd already done the paper pig. I went back and I watched that. I was in hysterics, mate. Beautiful job. Yeah, I thought I'd come on just to say I've been watching John and Joe question everything, what they've been doing, with the truth cube and the little posters and things. Yeah. And Joe's just sent me the link back for the PDF. I'm going to try doing the same thing. I'm going to get my mate to take us out certain places and just start dropping these truth cubes everywhere. I just think it's a great idea.
Great, excellent.
Yeah, you guys are smashing it. I've noticed how many your subs have just been flying up there. It shows how good a job you guys are doing.
Yeah,
I'm really impressed.
It's a testament to the truth, man. And if any,
well, really, what I think you are really doing a great job as well is, calling out people the way you called that on the no pairs, 5 pairs. Calling them out and demonstrating how ridiculous their stuff is. Yeah. But it's true. They get into people's minds with that crap.
Yeah, it's part of the sophism. It's that and trained in rhetoric and language and grammar, and they've told people, they've affected people in a way that you're judging by appearance, mannerisms, tone of voice, rather than actual content. So it's a manipulative tactic. It's a deliberate tactic. And if they can bamboozle you with intricate drawings, and insist with their authoritarian tone, these are all parts of NLP. These guys understand NLP, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to bamboozle you and put doubt upon you, and it's ridiculous. In order to you don't discredit actual observed reality like the physics of water by drawing cubes and springs and even as you're drawing those things, he's saying things like, oh yes, the square, and then he's showing you that the liquid must be contained within and then acting like you're the liar and the dishonest one when the guy's either seriously confused, and I doubt it because he seems like an intelligent guy. So for me, he's practicing sophism, which is a charlatan. Somebody who's pushing nonsense and doing it deliberately. Because as I say, his intelligence suggests to me that he would know that. And as he says, if he's been at it for 3 years, the penny would have dropped by now.
I agree. I think some of these people are starting to get paid now. See, I've noticed in different chats, flat earth chats, that they're being bombarded with accounts. I noticed on Antonio's last week, on Vincent P's, Candy's. It's as if it's like that Timmy's Army, I call them. He's still butthurt because Vincent
don't give him that kind of credit, because he's not smart enough to be running an army. I just call it that.
quick as they can block accounts, you know, like they're coming up in the chat like 30, 40 at a time, you know, and as quick as the mods are blocking them, there's a new one coming up. So that there must be like teams in offices doing this, you know.
Yeah, they've been doing that. I say that to people, and I'll just remind her, I'll say it again, you know, my tests that I had done at the beginning, you know, 2 years ago now, on like places like Facebook, I tested different groups that were nothing to do with the question, because there wasn't a lot of groups. But anywhere you brought the question up, you get the same method, the same types of accounts, the same format, the same script, everything was copy-paste. And eventually it got to the point where I had niggled them enough and had a bit of banter with them that they would display for me how many accounts they actually had. You know,
right.
I would say, how can you keep up? You know, how many accounts have you actually got? And they would go bang, 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 maybe 5 accounts, laughing, you know, just as a display. But if people deny that, it's, I don't know how you can deny it. It's so obvious and transparent now that there's active participation in trying to, corral it. So,
for sure. I watched an episode. I'm not one for television, but I watched Homeland. It's something I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's based on an Israeli, spy thing, and it's set like in the American presidency and all that. And you've got like the CIA, the NSA, all that sort of thing. And about 2 or 3 episodes ago, they were showing, where the actual governments now have got these offices set up, and they've got teams of people, and they're all just bombarding social media, trying to, confuse people, cause division. And it's showing you on there. So this is definitely going on,
It's the same tactic, and things like the vaccine groups, the chemtrail groups, this type of group, anything that's serious implications, then they're heavy on it.
Really are. And since they've started, all of this talking about the fake news and stuff like that, that's come on suddenly, and it seems to me that their fake news has just increased as well, and they're trying to use like ridiculous things like Snopes, and Facebook are setting up a thing where they decide what's fake and what's not. It's to try and censor people getting good info out,
That's it.
I think it's going to be critical now, because it's like, I don't think there's much more time before there's going to be so many channels that are controlled and paid for that it's going to be hard to decipher the truth, for some people, especially people who are new to it. So it's good that you've got platforms like yours, and people have got to really start directing people to the good platforms to let people see what's really going on,
That's it, man. It's people need to unite together and, sing the same song. So
very much so. I uploaded a video to my channel because chemtrails is something that really bothers me, Del, And where I am in the southeast in Hove, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, they've been absolutely bombarding it. I mean, bombarding it like I couldn't believe. I took some shots over a 45-minute period from my mate's window, and I've just uploaded it to my channel, and you can see what they've done in 45 minutes. It's just a little slideshow, only goes on for 2 minutes. Check it out. But
that's another thing that has to be recognised and discussed. It's a phenomenon that's actually happening. And there's so many camps broken up about what the phenomena is. But rather than just agree that it is a phenomenon, let's go about trying to get a proper investigation happening, which I'm sure there probably is. I've lost touch with that whole thing, but it still bothers me just the same as everybody else. There's definitely something going on. I don't really buy into poisoning, and for me, if I wanted to poison everybody, you could think of quicker and easier ways than going to the expense of spraying it every day. But
I think they are genuine. They're calling it solar radiation management now, and there actually is paperwork admitting that. I mean, Britain's investing $2 billion in it this year, and I reckon they are trying to reflect back the sun or do something like that. But it's not good, and it seems to me that it's harming plant life and wildlife. There's a lot of evidence showing that now.
Psychologically, it's draining on people, especially here in Scotland, where you get very little sun, and you look forward to the sun. You know that yourself. You're looking forward to the summer and waiting for it to come, and then before you know it, it's winter again.
That's what I find. See, on really sunny days, that's when they start spraying and get the clouds seeding, and then for the next few days after it seems to be like the weather changes again, and it comes back all cloudy, and you get the rain again. So it's definitely what they're doing is modifying the weather in some way as well.
That's it.
But it's there's lots of things getting to me, like fracking as well. If you do anything anything about that?
Nah, I'm not really.
That's going to be happening bad in Scotland.
I know.
It's going to be happening bad in Scotland. It's really badly point. Look up a video if you get a chance called the gas fields. It was made by a guy called Ian R. Crane, and it's shown the damage that it's been doing in Australia and America. And now they've just started doing it in Britain, and they've got massive permission now to do drilling up in Scotland. That's going to be happening soon. And they've just drilled two wells around the Blackpool sort of area, and there's been a lot of protests and stuff like that. But that's if that comes to Britain, it'll devastate this country's water table and everything, because it's only a little island. It won't take more than 4 or 5 years to cause some serious damage if these drills continue to get being allowed to go on. You know, it's scary, mate.
Well, I stick on my subject, which is, you know, what shapes the earth. It's great. There'll be other people who will work on those projects and ask those questions. So I'm sure
I've no doubt the earth is flat, bro. No doubt. There's no doubt in my mind now. They're definitely hiding something. I think it's definitely something like more land. There's got to be more land somewhere.
Maybe,
you know?
Maybe, man. Who knows? Who knows what it is? Callum, how you doing? Can you hear us now? Can you speak?
Not bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, Callum. Sorry, I didn't say hello to you, mate. And I was chatting away. I didn't even notice.
Happening, man. Can you hear me, no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, he's kidding me. Brilliant. Oh, so I downloaded another browser. It must have been because I was using Opera. Right. I was just. It was only a little thing I wanted to discuss with you briefly. Yesterday I was watching the show. I think was it yesterday morning you were on?
I think so, aye. Yeah.
Aye, and I was out later on in the day, and I just noticed my phone was bleeping. I had notifications turned on, and I'd commented a few things on the bottom of my video. The 5 red pairs debunking thing. And, I don't like him, and I was also yes, good. And then I wrote a few comments. I'd been very polite. I'd minded myself, and then obviously there's some fake trolls out there, definitely. But what was the name? Gertrude. Gertrude, somebody. I was like, oh yeah, that's not a real name. His guy's name's probably Bert. It'll be Gert. But
Gertrude Perkins, he's a massive troll.
Aye. Oh well, I'll put it this way. I could tell he was just copying and pasting comments. He'd said a few things to me that got my blood relatively boiling. Actually, I had to take a minute, and I was like, wait a minute, he's just writing the same thing.
I think he's annoyed you, Bell, isn't he, in the past?
It's a copy. He's a copy and paste merchant. I think what's going on right now on my channel is these characters, whoever they are, they're making comments, but I can't see their comments, and I don't know how that's achievable. So I get the Gertrude Perkins one is well known, and it's just a copy paste merchant. It'll be one of the known trolls that we've engaged with probably. But that's exactly what they want, mate. See that emotional anger and reaction. They want to wind you up.
I took a minute before I replied, but again, I could tell they were probably managing to get other people though to chase them all together from it. That was why I wanted to give a shout out to this prick. Pardon the language. But
I noticed Gertrude Perkins and then Laurie Gale and all that. They were on the same page commenting side by side. I just had to make a couple of comments because it started to wind me up, you know.
Well, I had minded my cheek, but they did not mind their cheek. Would be the best way of putting it. They were akin to what would be the best way of saying that? What was it? You are giving morons a bad name, and basically it was worse than just. They may as well have just went, "You suck" or a prick, and that would have been politer than what they actually were doing. So I was like, oh well. So I thought, well, I'll comment back, but it really did rile me because then I was seeing on the end of the
You're wasting your time.
You must under a new name today.
You're wasting your time with that lot, to be honest with you, man. They're not there for discourse and discussion. They're there purely to propagandise and slander people. That's what they're there for. So there is, the best thing to do is just to laugh at them, but have a wee ribbon and take the piss. But don't get yourself emotionally involved with them.
No, we're all real faces and real names, and they're obviously all hiding behind Flo. They'll go put a picture of Blackadder up as my profile picture and thinking they're smart. You're like, oh well, that's really, really smart. So okay. So I would not be taking them seriously anyway. But I just wanted to say, cheers, guys, for the good work in that. Keep it up.
Thanks, man.
Nice, Carl. Nice one. There was another funny thing.
Thank you. What's that, mate?
I was just going to nip out to get a coffee now, but thank you very much for having me on.
Anytime, buddy. Thanks for coming, man.
Cheers, man.
Take care, Carl. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, mate.
There was another. Sorry, Del.
Sorry, Marshall. Have we get any other links?
I've got a link out to Kane at the moment, and I've got still other people. I've got mail from other people as well. But Kane, you're in Hawaii, dude. If you want to log in now, you should have the link in your mail.
I'll be back in a minute. I'm just going to grab a drink. So 2 seconds, people.
All right, Dale. All right. There was another funny thing, Teen. I don't know if you've seen it. Vincent P. He had got the NASA live from the ISS, and he'd shown that it was just like loop footage they were putting it as live. So he's been banned from the channel. But I went onto this channel, and there were about 500 people watching or something. And in the chat, they were all like, a lot of them are fascinated by looking at this fake CGI image behind them and the astronauts doing things. So I watched it for a couple of hours, and I noticed that it was on a 1 hour sort of loop. And I started telling people what was about to happen, and I had people thinking I was psychic and all that. I managed to get a few people that were really angry, because they didn't realise that this was loop footage being put out as live, And when I explained to them in the chat, they got really angry, and I think I woke a few people up to what was going on, which was good.
Oh, that's excellent. I mean, good work from Vince. I think he's in the chat box this evening, actually.
Yeah, Vinny's been brilliant. He was great doing that spot and stuff like that. He's always really helpful. Seems a really, really nice guy. He's helped a lot of people. He's what I watched him getting when he was trying to snipe Antonio's hangout, and Vincent he removed all the people that were on the panel, and while he was talking to him, he'd been all smarmy, and Vincent just his voice come back over and said, "No, Timmy, no, it's not going to happen like that. You're too slow, son." Give him a right lesson.
Yeah, that whole game of sniping has changed now. So if people are going to troll, they're going to have to use different tactics, which I can see in the chat box at the moment, actually.
Yeah, you're lucky you're a super mod, you know what I mean?
Well, there's more than one of us here, dude. That's the thing,
Yeah, well, I think people need a good few really trustworthy mods on their wrenches, because I've noticed on some channels a lot of people are, they're giving out wrenches willy-nilly, and it's like that's causing a bit of friction and discourse and division.
Yeah, I think there's far too much discord and division, and I think it's time for people that want to take things seriously to actually take it seriously and stop paying attention to any of the other nonsense that seems to go on.
Yeah, I'll just say thank you to Joe. I've just received the email that he was sending me for the PDF to do the truth cubes.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try and get a bit creative with some of them, and maybe print off some of the flyers that John was putting out as well. I don't know if John's got a PDF available, if he's listening at all.
I haven't seen him this evening, but I'll contact him and ask him, and if it's available, then we'll post it.
Yeah, please just pass my email on to him, and get him to email me, and I can copy some of those.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Kane, how you doing? You all right?
Oh yeah. Hi guys.
Hi, Kane.
I've been getting major just adrenaline from all of this. So pardon me, I'm shaking. My hands are shaking just because I got into this chat. It's hilarious.
All right.
What is it? It's 10:09 right now a.m. Are you guys? Is it like 9 or 8 o'clock?
10 past 9.
Start 9.
10 past 9. Nice.
Where are you,
right?
Whereabouts are you?
South Point of the Big Island, southernmost tip of the United States.
Why? Oh wow, lovely.
Guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I just started a YouTube channel. Well, I had a YouTube, but I posted my first video, and kind of like what you're saying the last couple of days. It's not about wasting time in the debate. It's about trying to do something individually about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know necessarily how to do that. I'm just, doing it my style, which is hyperactive.
Good on you. You can only do it your own way. That's the whole point,
Great. And that's what I like about it. It's like I'm into Taoism just from what I learned in school. And I like how they talk about the true definition of anarchy is not violence and anger. You know what I mean? It's about decentralization of authority.
Yeah, no government.
Exactly. And no one governing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's governing flat Earth. And so there's no right way to go about it.
People just have to start organising themselves, and trying to localise and get people locally and start spreading it as a community that way, I think.
People need to stop trying to control each other. That's the problems that we're having. People trying to control each other. But
and my friends, they've been helping me with some guys that were resistant at first, but they've come around. At least they say they think it's interesting. They're helping me with my Socratic dialogue, and you know what I mean, because I don't like dissing people or calling people like globe heads, or I really want to educate people, and so I want to keep people thinking that they are, you know, capable.
Yeah.
Hi,
It's hard though when you get that constant, as I say, you know, you start off understanding logic and you know the questioning and it being objective, but after so long of these people grating on you, eventually you will flare up, you know. So sorry, Chaz, is something wrong with your mic, man? Is it not working?
Chaz is showing is muted on my screen. Okay, so
right, trying to unmute it.
It's a situation where he's going to find the button on a PC, Chaz. If you put the mouse over the screen, you'll see to the top center, you'll see a microphone symbol, and if it's red, click it so it's not red. It's still showing as muted here.
Well, you guys want to hear something interesting? In Hawaii, we've got, other than Chile, I think Hawaii has the best observatory vantage point in the world, just because of the clean air. We're in the middle of the ocean. There's no particulates. And so we've got the Mauna Kea Observatory, and they're trying to build the world's largest 30-meter telescope, the TMT, and the Hawaiian sovereignty movement, which is, it's interesting. I could segue on that one. But the Hawaiian sovereignty movement, indigenous rights activists, they've been protesting big time for really good reasons, like water safety, kind of like what the No DAPL people are protesting against, all about like not poisoning our water and stuff. But my latest one is like, if TMTers, if in Hawaii A'ole is no, so A'ole TMT is like a big hashtag over here. If the A'ole TMTers jumped on flat earth and started like really sticking to the science of like there is no space, why are we building telescopes, like that would further the whole like it's a tax scam. It's
just extorting money from the people, you know, like NASA and all of that. It's billions and billions and billions of pounds, and it's all going to the same people that run these corporations, you know. They're just siphoning money away. So anyway, since you guys are listening, what are your guys' thoughts on lava and like geology and like what is lava now that flat earth has kind of taken over? That's a good question.
Because I think about, because I live on an island that we have multiple earthquakes per day. I've been taking line of sight photos of the lava plume, which people are just like, it's the best proof I have right now, because I have a camera with a 200 millimeter zoom. And from 46 miles away, I'm taking line of sight photos of the plume, and I'm even breaking it down to where like the plume stays concentrated for at least like 300 feet, and then once the elevation goes up, the plume starts to dissipate. And people are trying to say that like, oh, what's in your photo is the top of the plume, what's being shaved off by the curve. And I'm like, I'm really doing my best to not call people retarded, because it's frustrating, because it's just like, no, I'm showing it from multiple angles. Yeah. And I that's one of my best proofs right now is the lava plume from South Point.
They'll try and find a curve anywhere. That was ridiculous yesterday, that 5 pairs drawing the pencil line. I knew eventually he would draw a curved line next to his little sunshine.
Yeah, I've been trying to think about lava a lot, because if, you know what I mean, I'm totally on board with flat earth, but like if flat earth is true, then what is this lava underneath us?
Who knows?
Yeah.
You guys listen to Aaron Dover?
Not much recently.
No.
Yeah. I heard recently he might be dead.
Yeah, actually, I did hear that. Yeah, people are saying
he had some crazy ideas. He talked a lot about the Tesla atmospheric electricity, and that's something I want to do too, because people keep asking me like, flat earth doesn't change my life, how does it change yours? And it's just like, I want to stop paying utility bills.
Yeah,
I mean, I want to tap into this free electricity.
Tesla's inventions, he discovered all of this sort of, you know, there is free energy available. It can be harnessed, you know. It's something in the atmosphere.
Is anybody producing anything like that?
Yeah, there is people using Tesla coils, and they're actually using generators, spinning magnets that have been able to power their houses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
you know, and it was really strange because when Tesla was finishing his inventions, you know, like they wiped him out, they destroyed everything, they took all his patents, and then years later they seem to be using his technology now. You know, like I think a lot of the Wi-Fi masts and, you know, things like that, there's more to them. I think all of this smart meters technology and things like that, it's just showing how the things can be sent through airwaves and, you know, frequencies. There's a lot to this stuff, you know, what can be done. Have you seen John Hutchinson? His sort of stuff.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's like he's got the long hair and he makes stuff melt.
Yeah, just using sound frequencies and changing different sound waves, and he can levitate. He was levitating like steel balls, or, you know, he could just a steel bar. He could just distort it or melt it. You know, it would just break in half. It was crazy what he could do.
Have you ever recreated any of that?
Pardon, Dale?
Has that been recreated? Any of the Hutchison stuff? Is it, you know? Because I think it was suggested.
I think is he still around doing stuff, or is
anybody else recreated what he showed in those videos?
Right.
No, I'm not sure if anybody else has done it, but I've never really looked to check that. But again,
that's part of the problem, you know. And I don't. It's not like I'm being rude to anybody or anything, but we carry information and we talk about these things and we talk about them as if, you know, we've got experience in them or we get some sort of known. When really we don't. I've seen the Hutchison video, but I've never seen anybody else reproducing anything like that. So
right. I mentioned that to a neighbor, and he made like a taser out of a spark plug. So he's like geeky that way. But he was telling me, he's like, yeah, dude, he's got plans to dig a pit in his backyard and fill it with anode and cathode materials, and then it's an earth battery. And so I was like, hey, have you heard of this guy? So, and he hadn't, but he was connecting his own dots with what he knew about electronics and stuff. But,
there is loads of people doing 0 point energy things, you know. There is various different ways to get this 0 point energy, they call it.
Is there no I've seen videos again, I don't know, I'd need to investigate and study, but it was showing, you know, some tribes who were making it out of clay, and they were harnessing electricity from the clay.
Wow, I've not seen that though.
Is that like an Egyptian reference? Because I know the Egyptians had like clay pot batteries.
Not sure. As I say, these are things that you see in passing, you see in videos, but to me they're just videos. I don't know. I'd have to investigate to see the validity of any.
There's a lot of people got working models. You know, you'll see various people, quite a few people recreating things like these power cell batteries. You know, from like different minerals and bits from the earth. I don't know exactly what ones they are. There's people doing things like that, powering cars. You know, using different various methods and all that. There is energy to be harnessed in our atmosphere somehow. I definitely don't think to me that's another thing. It shows there's no space, you know. It's like I feel I feel we are enclosed somehow, you know, and that's how this energy can still, you know, stay within.
Yeah, it makes sense to me that we live in pressure, and in order to maintain that pressure, it's the same here. If we want to create any kind of pressurized system, we have to have some sort of barrier or something with pressure valves at least, you know. Container of some sort.
Right. Well, the property of gases and liquids is they take the shape of their container.
Yeah.
And that's a big one too. Is like, how can water take the shape of its container when it's sitting on a ball? And that's like the biggest cognitive dissonance around gravity. People are so attached to gravity that you can't even explain to them like logical, sensible things that put like gravity into question.
Yeah. Well, it's the fact that you can't observe it in any other scale apart from the pictures that NASA give you. So it's nonsense.
The magic fairy dust, I call it now. They give it a sprinkling of magic fairy dust, and it solves all their arguments and problems.
I think if you don't have an answer for something, it somehow proves their model true when it's not the case. The fact of the matter is that their model has got serious flaws that they can't account for. So everybody needs to regroup and say, let's have an assessment of what we actually know to be actual factual, and then take it from there and try and build something, you know. But for me, it has to be contained. There is no other way to explain. If I can deduce from what I experience in reality, in order to create a pressurised system, it has to be some sort of containing unit. So, and it's the same. That's true again when they say about this space vacuum nonsense. You know, that's two different pressure systems. They have to be separated. You know, that's what we observe in reality 100% of the time. But they forget that.
Yeah, the space vacuum one gets me because I used to think like, oh, it makes sense if your body leaves the spacesuit spacesuit, your skin isn't strong enough to withstand the pressures, and so your blood will boil. But I never extended it past like flexible spacesuits. That doesn't make sense either. Like it's not gonna keep the shape of its container as well. It's gonna conform to outside forces.
I just think all the NASA stuff, it's all lies. It's all set up, and there's just an abundance of evidence, and why people don't realise it, like it's shocking that they're putting so much effort in right enough to cover up the fact. And the technology's so good now, they can make things look so real. It's easy to fool people,
Well, I want to say water will always find its level. They want to tell me that I'm a crackpot for that, but the very same breath they'll claim that they have wee robots running about Mars. We're crazy for believing and accepting the actual reality that we experience every single day with our senses. Call us crazy and then tell us they've got robots on Mars.
It just shows how good a job over the years the governments have done of just brainwashing people totally, It's hard to break things down, but they're making things so obvious now that I'm finding it easier to point things out to people who before were just never interested. Everything, if I'd mentioned anything, it was always conspiracy theory, that was it. They wouldn't take a look. But I've pointed out to quite a few people over the last 6 months or so certain things about certain events or whatever, and they just can't deny it, and it's really making them think, Is
it that they're making it easier, or is it just because you start to learn the game and then you start to see it easier?
Well, I think I find things a lot easier to see there, but pointing it out to the people that I know that we just wouldn't be interested in anything. Recently, in fact, like the Westminster attack, I had told a few friends last year, I'd seen an article saying that they were going to shut the cameras off in Westminster, and I said to a few of my mates, I said, you watch, something will happen pretty soon at Westminster, because there's no reason they would turn the cameras off. And then when I pointed out to the same people after that happened there, I said, now look, can you see 30 or 40 people injured on this bridge? And they were like, well, no, I can only see a few. I said, do you know that at one end of this bridge, there is a blooming specialist hospital to deal with, like massive trauma or anything like that? Why are ambulances sitting on this bridge for 3 hours? And I'm pointing out, like them pushing trolleys, stretchers around with nobody on it, and it's like, they were like blown away, that woke a few people up. And I think once you get through the initial thing of pointing out to them that there is this crap going on, they start to take the time to go and look for themselves then, because I've had a couple of these people.
It's like making a crack in the wall.
Yeah. So I've been pretty pleased. I've been pleased recently because I'm finding that people are waking up a bit easier to these certain events, a lot of ridiculous things like that. The sarin gas thing in Syria recently.
Oh my God.
The white helmets handling the people,
You talking about the gas attack in Syria?
Yeah. It's like
something that I found this morning. I listened to Dabu 7.
Yeah.
And I like him. He's pretty cool. He connects a lot of dots. But it was just trippy. One of his videos was in Damascus. There's a Kim Il Sung road right near a bunch of the government buildings, and there's also an 17th April road, and then 6th of May road comes up to it, and then Kim Il Sung is like right there in the middle of Damascus. I don't know what to say or think about it, but it's just irony or something.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But to me, looking back over a period of years now at other events and things, putting the dots all together, everything points to this sort of time, massive event, something major, really bad is going to happen, And when you look at certain things that they're putting out in the news, it's all pre-planned, all of this stuff. And while everybody's divided and distracted and all of that, we're missing out the major things, like what is going on in the planet. You hear like presidents and all that going to Antarctica. Why are they going there? These places, it's all the dots together is showing that there's something really major, I think, about to happen. You've got all the North Korea stuff and all of that. It's a crazy time to be living. Hopefully enough people, we need people globally just to wake up to one thing and unite together.
That's twice I'm going to pull you up. You said planet and now you're saying globally.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry, Dale. Sorry, yeah. Right.
People want to pull me up for saying fuck. Saying global.
No, pull me up. You're right to pull me up, Sal. That's something I've been trying to call it our home to get out of that habit. Because it's something that's so.
How do we know it's our home? we've not even established that this is where we're meant to be yet, you know?
Yeah, we're all living on somewhere. Yeah, we're living on something. So I'm just calling it our home, you know?
Right.
But the damage they're doing to our home, you know, like these mother of all bombs and Kim Jong-un, I think it's all flipping, it's all orchestrated, you know, so that they can just get money out of war, dropping bombs while they're hiding all of this, the really important things from us. They're hiding, you know, like where we're living on, you know. I believe there is definitely more to see and more to find, you know.
Well, that's the point you were making, you know, it's exciting times, and, you know, if you can try and package it to people like that, rather than apocalyptic end times, fucking disastrous, you know, it's exciting times, the prospect of proper exploration, proper discovery, you know, proper expression, freedom, you know, real freedom.
Yeah,
you know?
getting our thinking back, I think, was one of the important things.
That's the whole point. That's the other aspect of this. It's taking back your individuality and your own responsibility. There's a process for that people need to get through as well, you know. We're never going to get anywhere until people actually get to that state of mind.
Yeah, I find the hardest part of the process I had to deal with is like you feel helpless to seeing stuff that's going on, and you feel like when you're trying to do something about it and people are not listening and not waking up, it's as if they don't care, you know. And I feel it just really saddening, you know, that people don't care. They're just allowing everything to go on. We need to take our power back.
Why do you care? You know, I've said that from the beginning. I don't care what anybody thinks or what they want to believe. I'm just me, and I go about my business. And if people, you know, come to that same thing, then, you know, they contact you, you get together. But to start getting frustrated and annoyed that people are not listening to you, that tells me that you're doing something wrong, man.
Yeah, I'm taking a different approach there, you know, like from what I used to do. I used to take an approach where I was too straight into it. I'm trying to do more like from what you were doing with the street interviews. Start getting them to think, you know, just pointing out stuff. And
you're playing to the child in them, really, you know, and don't be direct like you're telling them something, you know.
One of the things I do, like in coffee shop or where you're dealing with a cashier, is you tell them, hey, tell them that you've got a bunch of friends on Facebook who have all converted to flat Earth, and then you roll your eyes like you're not with them. And then I've gotten some interesting responses where people are like, "Dude, for real!" And I wasn't expecting that, but I got that from one guy, and then another guy. I got 2 responses from Starbucks and from another place.
Cool.
But if you mention it like, "Oh my God, everyone on Facebook is going crazy, and I'm just kind of watching it happen. What do you think?"
Yeah, just get them to go and look for themselves that way, you know, rather than making them think that you're for it and you're interested in it. Yeah,
it's manipulative, but
that's the point. It is manipulative, but at the same time, it's manipulative for the benefit of people. It's not to try and keep them in ignorance. You know, you're encouraging them to think for themselves. You know, which is important. That's why you steer away from trying to be direct and just preaching and telling them how it is. You know, that's trying to make me, you know, a preacher, evangelist, when it's not. You're engaging people for discussion and question, you know, so it's totally
I find your panel the most like rational panel when you've got like Gav and all that on there as well, and you know, he's a really great, he's polite, you know, respectful, and to hear other people trying to dispute that, you know, saying that all you ever are is angry and rude and swearing and all that, it's a nonsense. You do get passionate sometimes, Del, and I think you're totally right for doing that, you know.
Anybody who tells you that anger and passion is something that's wrong is feeding you a lot of bullshit, you know.
Yeah.
The difference between anger and passion and being a violent criminal, you know, they try and kind of smear you right into that whole, you know, same label, you know.
Yeah, make you look bad because you've got the tattoos and all of that. You know, I even seen one comment yesterday and it was really infuriated me, Del. It was from that bloody Blackadder geezer or whatever he's called, and he'd made a comment on there about you know, because it was Good Friday, about the kids and stuff, bringing family into it and all that, and I fucking had to say something, Del, you know. He's like, I was like,
mate, that's what they hope. We offered that from the beginning for the Badger groups on Facebook, you know, trying to bring your family into it and use they try and use any any kind of emotional trigger they could possibly think of. So I just don't pay any attention to it.
Yeah.
I walk my walk, it speaks for itself. Again, it's in the content. They can paint you in that light that, your kids and you're scary bully, yet you don't have a criminal record, you've never assaulted anybody, you love your kids, you walk your walk. That speaks for itself. So they can it just shows them up the more they try and push and paint that, and that's what's happening. Real people are seeing that happening now.
Yeah, because it shows them how scummy they are, to say things like that, and when people take the time to come and see who yous are and what yous are about and all of that, they'll find for themselves a totally different impression, And I think it's actually a good thing, because it's attracting more people to real people. Who really want to do something, but do it in the right way, and are doing it for the benefit of people and their children and future generations to come. Yeah,
it's really spreading. It's spreading in local circles everywhere. It really is. It's going to gain traction.
It's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I've been talking to my neighbours and all that locally I've moved to a new place about a year ago now, and I'm really getting great responses from some of them doing it the more gentle approach way. That I'm saying now. I'll ask them, have you heard about this sort of thing? If somebody had pointed this out to me, and I've just started to notice it, and oh look, there it's happening now. It was like pointing out chemtrails to neighbours locally. I mean, oh my God, look at that! It's like X and O's up in this. And if you check my slideshow out, Del, for 45 minutes, that's when I was talking to 3 or 4 neighbours with a little barbecue, and it really blew their mind, And once you start talking to them about that, I've tried to approach other things. Like I've had another mate point out to me about all of this crazy NASA footage that they're claiming is live, and like you can show them stuff. I show them a couple of wee things on my phone, and they're like, "That, oh my God!" I was like, "Well, this is what's going on. I can't explain it myself, but there's definitely more to it." I'm saying it that sort of way now.
Yeah, that's a good tactic, is to play, daft.
Yeah.
Ask questions like you're looking for an answer, and they want to pipe in to help solve the answer.
Yeah, that's that. They pretending I'm curious. I'm just curious about this, and wow, somebody said this to me, and I'm starting to find that a lot easier than I did a year or 2 ago, because I used to go on to people about lots of different conspiracies, so it made it hard for loads of people to listen to me.
Yeah. Try and make it as indirect as you can.
Yeah, but I mean, these things, looking back, these are not conspiracies, and if people actually do take the time, they would see how evil these people controlling the governments are. They think nothing.
That's the thing about, like, people, how much time do people have to do this? Like, I'm lucky I work at home, and so I'm able to watch YouTubes for like 14 hours a day while I look, I can listen. I'm a good auditory learner, and so that's how I got to this point. I started October 10th. That was when I went flat.
Right.
I was watching Joe Rogan. I was watching Joe Rogan like religiously, 4 to 5 times a week, and he was mentioning flat Earth so often, and I disagree with his opinion on marijuana, and I'm pretty much, my opinion is that the guy doesn't know shit about marijuana. He doesn't know anything about the growth of it. He doesn't know anything other than getting really high. Like, he's a city boy when it comes to ganja. And so I just roll my eyes. Huh?
There's so many health benefits, it's like it's curing a lot of stuff, and like people are really starting to wake up and start noticing this.
Yeah. And so I was listening to Joe Rogan, and then he was talking shit about, he was talking crap about flat Earth, and so I couldn't help but look into it, just simply because he was talking so much crap about it. And so then I told my dad, I'm like, Dad, there's like a growing movement of flat earthers, like eyebrows and wink wink. And my dad got me into the NWO. He got me into freaking whole bunch of conspiracies. My dad's a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, good.
And so I got him flat Earth, and he was like, "Kane, dude, you were right. It's a huge movement, and it's so true." And I at that point, my cognitive dissonance was in full gear, and I'm just like, Dad, I was about to get married, and we flew everyone to Maui, and I'm like trying to entertain my in-laws, and he's trying to talk about flat Earth, and I'm just like, Dad, not right now. I'm like trying to impress my in-laws and not get like booted out of this family. And so he was talking about it with my guests, and so then we moved from Maui to Big Island on November 1st. And that was finally when I gave my dad the time of day and said, okay, pull up some videos. I'll watch what you've got to show me. And I spent a good November 1st. I was probably flat Earth by November 5th. And
Yeah, it came to me pretty quickly, especially like I watched you know, like the 200 one by Eric DeBay, and then when I started, I got pointed really quickly to Dell's channel, and that when I seen how common sense it was, you know, and like the natural science, it just I knew straight away, looking out the window, and it was something that had been inside me since school, because I remember like I wouldn't look at the globe at school, I wanted to use an atlas, because I always found it easier just looking at flat maps like that. And I remember saying to a teacher in school, I went, well, how do people not fall off? How does the water not run off? And that's me probably at 6 years old. But then you get so brainwashed by the school system and you forget about it. You just take things for granted. And I think it's because a lot of the time people don't get enough time to think. They're too busy working to pay their bills and all that. They hardly get time with their kids now, you know, a lot of the time. So to try and look into stuff or take the time to care about certain stuff, it's hard to get people round, you know.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to go George Carlin and just more gasp and laugh.
Yeah, that's the best way, just to have humour at it.
Yeah, I love the way you're doing it lately, Del, with the humour, you know, like doing that yesterday with the Pepper Pig thing and stuff like that, and showing people, you and Gav showing people over his video, and you could see in the chat, everybody was like in hysterics. I was commenting, you looked as though you were in serious pain, Del, having to deal with it. I thought you were going to fall asleep with it. It was ruining your spliff as well.
Yeah, well, where's you doing? You know, and it's the same nonsense.
But your payback, the way you're doing your payback with this humour at the minute, if you can do that to a load of them, mate, it'll be brilliant. I think it would really open a lot of people's eyes, you know.
They keep coming up with this locally flat stuff. I'm seeing one of the sophists here has just put a video. It's just flashed up to tell me. Right. So they'll be going locally flat. You know, we can't be living on a fucking 50 pence piece or something with flat bits and then it curves and then it's another flat bit and then it curves. It has to be curving in every direction. Your claim is that it's a sphere, right? If you're listening.
Yeah, I love the way you pointed that out recently, the horizon thing, where it must all go round, you know, like that, and not just in front of you.
I don't know why that would have to be pointed out to people. It would be blatantly obvious, is it not?
Yeah, yeah, it is. But they get people using their own senses again, I think, is the hard part. You know, once you say something to them now and get them to open their eyes and look, you know, right, look up there, does it look as though this is happening? Or look across that water, what do you see for yourself? You know, getting them to use their own senses again, because most people have just become lazy. I think technology is, you know, like they trust Google, they'll do a Google search or something like that, or Wikipedia, and even they're all been manipulated, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
My thing about that is, like, I'm a cyborg. I've got my phone in my pocket and I use Siri all the time, but I don't know if it's just my brain or something else, but I seem to memorize every search I've ever done. Like, that you learn, you're supposed to search something once and then not really have to search for it again, right?
Yeah.
Like you put that into your own computer, take it from that computer and put it into your own, and then
if you're really interested in paying attention to something, you shouldn't really need to go back over it. Yeah. You know?
Space cadet reporting for duty.
I've got a good memory, but not that good.
Yeah,
I was going to say, is Joe still in the chat? I thought, I think, because I'd seen that he was asking for a link as well. I was hoping that he would come on to the panel to say hello.
Yeah.
You know, so we can
give people a wee chance to speak, and then, you know, we'll get other people coming on as their links out, Marshall.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll drop out now and say thank you to all you guys and all that, and let someone else come on for a chat. You know, I just wanted to come in and say hello.
Cool.
You know,
that's what's fun, mate.
I was hoping Gav was a bit, because I wanted to tell. I've been listening to his brother's song all day, you know, The Truth Will Set You Free, and I wanted to know if there was any way I can get it downloaded. I'll drop it now and say thank you to all you guys and all that, and let someone else come on for a chat. You know, I just wanted to.
Why does that not let me mute? Right, so.
All right, guys, I'll drop it and say.
All right,
all right, take care, everybody. I'll still be in the chat.
Take it easy.
Tuesday.
Yes. Jazz, you need to unmute your mic, and you need to turn the YouTube. If you're watching it on YouTube, you need to turn the volume on the video down. I can't hear you. Your mic's off.
What's your first name? Del?
Yeah.
Del. Yeah. I've definitely shared your videos. I instantly had a little bit of a Scottish bias. My grandmother is 100% Scottish, and I visited the homeland. I was a kid in a candy shop.
Cool. Did you get anywhere by sharing the videos? Did it make sense to people, or what? Did they cover any?
I've got like on Facebook, because I'm not really active on any other platform other than Facebook, because I'm homeschooled too. Like I'm kind of like born and raised in the bush, but I'm a digital native at the same time. And so I've got Facebook, and I've got like this small group of my hippie friends that like my videos, and then I've got another group that don't like but comment, and they're Globers, and then it cycles through. Like I've been playing around with the Facebook algorithm and how it might work. And so I've been like testing, are posts most effective in the morning? Like if you can time like when people are getting up to get on their Facebook. And if you can send a post when they're flipping through their page, that's maybe when you'll get them to click. I don't know, clickbait tactics I'm trying to figure out. But
good on you. Keep on it.
Yeah, no, I'm obsessed. Like luckily my wife is starting to ask me questions, but at first, like December, it was a rough month because I was just so charged. So I was still researching. At this point, I'm trying to do output, original content. Just instead of sharing other people's opinions, put my opinion out there. And I did that. I went public. I went public on Facebook. Actually, with the eclipse, Flat Earth has given me a crazy appreciation for astrology. I don't know if anyone puts any more weight into it, but we just had the Venus just went direct last night, and 40 days, 40 nights of Venus retrograde we've just had, and then we had the solar eclipse. I went public on the day of the solar eclipse, and I didn't time it that way, but it's kind of ironic. And I posted my first YouTube this morning, which is kind of like coming out of Venus. I don't do it intentionally, but I look at it in hindsight and I'm like, something weird's going on.
So what have you gathered from your observations of the sky and emotions?
Well, one of my questions was, they were going to do like an equinox test where, supposedly on the equator, the sun should be 90 degrees. And if you're 45 degrees from the equator, then the sun should be at a different angle. And I watched a video that kind of confused me because it was talking about everywhere on Earth, the sun was visible at 90 degrees. And this guy he was analyzing, I'm forgetting the name, but he's one of the, celebrities of Flat Earth. But he was going through timeanddate.com and pointing out that like, Australia, 90 degrees. That doesn't make sense. And he went to the equator, and so I kind of was busy during the eclipse, not the eclipse, the equinox. And so I didn't do my own tests. We had some weather too, so I couldn't see the sun. But I didn't see no one really brought that up again. So I almost feel like that guy generated a bunch of likes or views because he put forward like a kind of a crazy idea. And it definitely confused me because I like to think that Flat Earth it's not this like fluid, matrixy, like something's going to pop out of nowhere kind of thing. Like, then you tie in the whole like the sun is a hologram, and it shows up in a different location according to your perspective. Like I'm still confused about that. That's why when I tell people, I'm like, I'm still poking at Flat Earth, but we're all 100% sure that it's not a ball.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing we can't be certain about. None of us can be certain about flat disk, infinite plane, or dome. Yeah. I kind of lean more infinite plane just because I like the idea of infinite freedom.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way to escape that we are somehow part of eternity. And I don't think if anybody suggests that there's a beginning somewhere, then the beginning has to be somewhere. And it just goes on and on and on. There is, for me, there is no way to escape it. I can't even conceptualize it in my mind, but, it makes sense, but, Gav, how you doing? You all right, mate? Chaz?
Hi, Dale.
How you doing,
Hi, everybody. Hi, Marco.
I can't communicate.
Yeah, I can hear you now, Chaz. You're loud and clear.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you now.
Well, that's fucking brilliant. Yeah. Yeah, I've just been listening to all your participants over the past 2 years, and yeah, I can see them being drawn towards the truth as we know it. It's and the reality is what you talk about. The reality is everything is flat, it's level. And fucking. I never even thought what I was going to talk about, but yeah.
You guys know the Gandhi quote? The truth is still the truth, even if it's a minority.
Yeah, that's true as well.
I feel like that's a lot what's going on is like, even though flat earth proofs aren't like accepted, it's like the truth is still the truth, even if we're not like.
Yeah, the truth doesn't give a fuck about anybody else.
That's it.
The truth will always,
That's it. That's what we're after. We want to discover what that objective truth is.
Yeah, that's what I like about you and your channel and your subs and that. They're all after the same thing.
Yeah.
We are. All of us are after the same thing.
Yeah.
And
I think that the questions are burning in everybody's mind. Where are we? Who are we? Why are we here? And people who have always had those questions at heart are arriving here. There is nowhere else to arrive. That's the truth of the situation that we're in.
Yeah, of course. I'm 59 years old and I've been set for years. Eventually we'll get there. Fucking, it's a hard fucking fact. Hard fact.
Yeah.
I feel for the older people who have been fighting this fight longer, because I've been real optimistic my whole life because it seems like it's within reach, and I hope it's all within reach for us too.
Yeah, that's why we're here, man.
All I can say, it certainly doesn't get any easier when you get older. And all I've got to say to people is, I've said it before, but I've been on the party here longer, but I still don't fucking know what's going on. No.
Well, you young people should be fighting for your kids, not for yourself.
And I've got a 23 day old, and
nice
yeah,
congratulations.
Rocked my world. My son Malachi.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you, my first boy, and he's doing really good. My joke is, don't worry, parents. My kid won't ruin Santa Claus for your kid, but I can't guarantee the same for Flat Earth.
Flat Earth will rock anybody's world.
I'm gonna teach him globe proof too. Just make people happy. But
yeah,
whatever. That'll be my Santa Claus.
That's where it will be. Fairy tale. What's happening, Gav? You all right?
Everything cool. I was just out at a big Easter fire. They have a big fire here where I am. Lots of people congregate and have a beer and a sausage or whatever it is they want to eat. So yeah, it's quite nice. Nice community feeling. It started to piss with rain though, so.
Well, talking about the sky earlier on, that's a problem here. I don't take part in any, the sun, the moon and the stars are very rarely seen where I live.
Yeah. Well, you've got lots of water though, so I take it that's where your natural observations can be focused on. The sun in your face and the rain in your neck.
Yeah.
I think people on.
Sorry.
No, I think people who live on islands have a huge advantage because we've got water so available to us.
That certainly drives the point home. There's so many things that you can just observe with water, right? It can be like a sheet of glass. It can be flat. It can be all the waves and the energy that comes off it, all the life it brings. The things that you can eat and find on the shores. So yeah, the water of life and all that, I suppose. But I grew up in a little fishing village as well. So one of the things I miss when it's not around me.
Did you guys see Moana coming from the young kid?
Don't tell me your son's already watching that.
Oh no, dude! I've seen it 3 times already.
Okay.
I'm a Disney brat. But dude, it's a flat Earth.
Watching movies, eh?
Say again.
Typical American watching movies and believing.
Yeah. No, I've got my addictions.
So you saying it had flat Earth references on it? Was it?
Oh, all over. ODD TV does a really good breakdown. But ironically, like I'm a member of one Flat Earth Facebook group, and I made a little breakdown after I watched it and posted my opinion. And it was pretty much along the same lines as ODD. The Polynesians were voyagers. They arrived on their homelands via voyaging canoe, and so they knew how to read the stars. They knew how to get from here to there without getting lost, and they knew how to survive out in the desert of the ocean, but it's not really desert because there's so much life. But every shot of the horizon in that movie is flat, and so it's all beautiful CGI glistening flat. And then there's all the mythological references too, like it's centered around Maui, who in Hawaiian mythology is a demigod, who in the Hawaiian mythology, it's crazy, he, in order to appease the humans, they begged him to lasso the sun to bring it closer so that the days could be longer. And Maui has this magical fish hook, which was given to him by the gods. And so, yeah, Maui lassoed the sun and brought it closer to the people of the Polynesia so that they could have longer days because they were complaining about their crops. They couldn't grow crops. They couldn't harvest food. long enough. And I made the connection that like the way the sun rotates around the flat disk, that like maybe the sun used to rotate closer to Antarctica. Like it used to shed more light directly over Antarctica. And that there was a time in history when the sun moved. I don't know, like, so I was making that connection. And that's within the Hawaiian mythology as well.
Man, you're in philosophical theory as well, you know. There's a flat earth theory and globe theory, you know. It's all the same things.
Right, fractal reality.
So do you believe in that theory or describe to that philosophy, you know, the stuff that you were talking about?
Like the Hawaiian pantheon and stuff. I'm a walking ball, no pun, of contradictions. Because I was homeschooled by
open-minded. Then
I'm just like super open-minded. People say that that I'm way too open-minded, but I do keep logic kind of at my forefront. I studied symbolic logic in school.
You can never be way too open-minded.
No.
You have to be open-minded to absolutely everything, you know.
Something that someone said too is like we shouldn't lock ourselves down into like if it's not the globe then it has to be flat. Well, that might also be another mind prison that we could all get stuck in. That
let's just keep
it open.
It's either or either, isn't it?
Right.
That's the same as political philosophy. It's either them or them, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can anybody else come in on this, Del? I'd like to hear you.
Sorry, what was the question, mate? I was having a wee look elsewhere there. Sorry, man.
Either or either.
Either or either what?
Anything.
I don't know what you mean. Sorry, Kane, can you mute when you're... I don't know, is it you, Kane, that's rustling something in the back?
Yeah.
Flatty McFlatface, how are you doing?
It's
How you
Chris,
doing, Dale?
It's Chris, dude. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Hi, Teen. How are you?
Fair to middling, dude, as always.
Good, man. Doing a good job, as always.
How's things?
Good, mate. Good. I was out with Big John today. I'm weather beaten. He had me up hills with brogues on. So my feet got wet, but an amazing day. I can highly recommend it. Brilliant day.
Nice. So what were you up to? You doing
the 20 questions.
Nice.
So I think he's on the case, but we lost some footage, so he's going to meet him again tomorrow to go over some bits we've missed. So maybe tomorrow or Monday he'll get it on his page. I can't wait.
Nice.
Really enjoyed that. And so hopefully more people get in contact with him because he's a great guy. He knows what he's doing. He's spreading the word. His enthusiasm is ridiculous. You know, we've all seen his videos. He's going about shops now. You know, he's writing flat earth on pound notes. He's putting flyers and things. He's getting folk making up truth cubes. The man's a legend. So get in touch with him. Do 20 questions. You'll have a good time. Trust me. You know.
That's enthusiasm.
Sorry.
That's enthusiasm. It's fucking great.
It's bonkers. Yeah. He's 60 years old. The guy. You know.
Yeah, I'm 59, man.
Brilliant, man. Epic.
I've told all my daughters about flat earth and all my family about flat earth, and most of them laugh at me, apart from one daughter, you know, and she says you're right.
How old is that daughter, can I ask?
Yeah, she's 38.
All right, okay. I thought maybe she was young, because usually the young ones are, they get...
Well, she's young compared to me. I'm 59.
I'm the same, but I've only got my dad, but my dad won't even look at it. He won't. I've tried. I've sent him probably about 20 videos, just not interested.
Yeah. You find that a lot with older parents. They won't even fucking look into it at all. You know, my mum agrees with me. My dad just says fuck off.
It's indoctrination.
But the thing that got me into flat Earth myself, before even flat Earth come about, I had a conversation with Dad about the moon landings. I said this was about 15, 20 years ago. I says to him, on the moon, and he says to me, explain gravity. So he already knew about 20 years ago. He probably knew 20 odd fucking that nobody landed on the moon, and he couldn't explain gravity, you know.
Aye.
And that set me thinking, you know, and that just set me on that path, you know. The flat Earth come out. It was a fucking realization, you know. It wasn't a revelation. It was a realization that what he'd been saying to me was true. Explain gravity. Because he didn't
it's a
believe
theory that hasn't been explained yet.
Yeah, exactly. It was a realization for me that he knew about fucking gravity, that non-existent.
I was thinking the other day about Newton's first law. You know, an object remains stationary, you know, until acted upon by an opposing force. I think that's it. Gav will correct me, obviously, please do. But you know what I'm saying. And if you've got just say a sheet of glass with a snooker ball on it, and you instantaneously remove that glass, that ball will fall, and it's not acted upon a force. It falls because it's denser than the air. So Newton's first law, I'm sorry, it's flawed. Am I wrong? Am I talking shite?
Newton's first law about gravity.
An object stays, you know, an object remains stationary until acted upon by a force.
Suspended.
If a ball's on the ground, it remains stationary until you push it or until the wind blows it. You know, that I get that part. But you know, if you've got a ball under a sheet of glass and you remove the glass and the ball starts to fall, that's not gravity. That's just denser than air. But Newton that proves gravity, or it's a law of gravity, isn't it? I think so.
Yeah, well.
So and physicists recite this shite, you know, and you're like, well, why are you calling it Newton's first law? It should be it's just density, you know.
It should be called common sense.
Newton's law of common sense.
No, not Newton's law. Newton's law shouldn't even come into the equation. It should be called common sense. Because we all witness that, experience that every day.
It's there, but they give it all these names and stuff. But it's like, no, it's just a ball falling. You know?
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't require 1, 2, and 3 laws by a Freemason. It's just a ball falling. That's it. You know, fuck off.
So what happened to your channel and stuff, Chris? Did you see you removed it?
A bit of a meltdown there. That was it. You know, it just started getting a bit too real too quick. You know.
Yeah.
And that was it. I'm not ashamed to say. I'm semi-ashamed to say.
Yeah, it's no easy, is it, man? You know?
No, man. But I mean, even Harry. What's his name? I've forgotten the name of his fucking page now. Sorry, lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? I realised that it was only about a year ago that I found the flat Earth. It was last summer. I've been on a journey, I think, that's taken about 3.5 years. But
been on you.
Flat Earth, it was just last year, so I'm pretty fresh to it, and I kind of realised that I thought, you know, why am I freaking out? But it's still relatively new, you know, to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm over it now, and it's all good. It's all good. I'm back.
Hey Chris, nice to see you back, man.
How you doing, Gav?
How's it going?
Not bad. Good to see you.
I still want to take my first flat Earth taxi ride.
Aye, sorry. Not any time.
Right.
John took one today.
Gav, you're already on it. You're flat Earth taxi.
It's just not moving, man.
Did you have some sausage?
No, I don't eat meat.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right.
I don't even sorry.
Just beer then.
Yeah, good job. And beer's sound, right? Look, I was going to ask the guy that was in Hawaii. Sorry, I've forgotten your name. The white
Kane.
Kane, aye. I was quite interested, the Polynesians and the navigation they took, you know. I mean, the only thing you really need to do for navigation is solve a spherical triangle. That's about all you really need, whether it's the stars or whether it's the sun, you know. And it's actually fascinating to see how the people got around the world and across the level water, right, using those kind of triangulations.
Even without maps, like it was an oral tradition, and so they didn't even write down their navigation. A lot of it was based on like body metrics, so like a hand's width off the horizon extended at arm's length. That was
surprised that works, eh?
Yeah, well, it's a standard of measurement, because like most people are the same height, most people have the same length of arm, so it's like, but then I wonder, because I've studied sacred geometry, so because like this knuckle is Fibonacci ratio to this length, same thing with each finger, same thing with your hand to your elbow to your shoulder. So you've got these like Fibonacci ratios in everyone. Doesn't matter like what size or shape you are.
Yeah, so, the phi proportion is everywhere in nature. Absolutely.
Right. And
a horse length. You know, a horse length.
I don't. It was like an ancient sextant, you know what I mean? Because they're just measuring angles off the horizon. Sorry.
No, it's the same as measuring a horse.
Is that right? Tell us a bit more. Is it the same proportions on the horse, right?
Yeah, it is. It's hand lengths.
Right.
And you've got feet as well, or a foot. You know, even American football is another wonderful construction they've given us, isn't it? The oblate spheroid that's 1 foot long.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be a ball.
It's fucking brilliant, but it's not football, is it?
Yeah, but it's still great the way they fuck around with their words, eh?
Yeah.
And how these words put things in your head, that you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a trip.
Welcome back.
You guys have seen that there's a flat Earth map that's circulated around that they say that they found in Hawaii. It's that one that shows continents beyond the ice wall.
There is no such thing as a flat Earth map.
Right.
Nobody has seen the flat Earth, so how can they map it?
Right. I don't know, what would you call it then? Like, but anyway, it's where it's from. It's an old map, and so before Google Earth, before they had, I don't know. Yeah, but it's interesting. But it was circulated. It was published in a Hawaii newspaper in the 30s, I believe. I could be wrong. Could have been like 1910. But
but how do you know that's a true map, if anything?
No, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just connecting the dots of like people try and say like, oh, this is a new trend. This is something new. Kane, you're getting swept in some new trendy thing. And I'm like, well, no, because there's this history that you can follow all the way back to Mesopotamia and Egypt and Lemuria, the sinking of the Pacific continent. And if any of that's true, I mean, like I talk about a lot of stuff that I don't maybe not even have an opinion about, but I'm a pretty good repeater.
Yeah. So you're letting yourself get down rabbit holes.
Oh yeah, deep. I mean,
rather than sticking to objective reality.
Well, I think I'm doing both. I'm exploring.
You can't do both.
No, you can. I've been there. I had to explore avenues and avenues of thought to come to the realization that they were it's not my experience and it means nothing to me. I think it's when I was looking at these things for meaning and trying to find something tangible, that's where my mistake was. Once I realised, look, I'm never going to experience these things, it's only ever going to be hearsay to me, but I still had to go through the process. So we can't just arrive at that understanding without going through the process of disappearing down many rabbit holes.
Yeah, I think it's important to make the distinction between what's a rabbit hole and what's reality, or what's a representation and what is real, and as long as people make that discernment between visibles and tangibles, between what they see and what they can actually physically touch and experience completely with all their senses and not just with one sense, that's the discernment people need to make. And then I think it's still okay to speculate sometimes. I mean, maybe people older than us, actually got further. You don't know, right? We could be even more contained than we were before, so, but even still, it's still just a representation. So you need to make, that's the difference between actually being there, exploring, touching stuff, and being able to experience it for yourself, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's proof by testimony.
I perfectly put it down. Gav, sorry.
Chris, sorry, mate, I'm muted. You're muted. You need to unmute yourself, mate. It's just because you were eating and you could hear the ball getting chinked about.
Who, me?
No, Chris.
All right.
I'll share one last thought, and I'm gonna go to lunch. But the Hawaiian Kingdom, there's, and this is me doing a selfish bomb, but here in Hawaii we have a Hawaiian sovereignty movement, which I could assume is pretty similar to Scottish independent sovereignty, what they've got going on with the English. But technically, everyone think we're an occupied territory. We were illegally annexed, and the Hawaiian Kingdom is still alive and well. And it wasn't the whole monarch dictatorship that everyone thinks. It was a constitutional monarchy. They had a pretty nice constitution modeled after all the other countries of the world. And something interesting, that at the time of the overthrow, the Hawaiian nation had a seat at the League of Nations, and they had peaceful treaties with almost every single country of the world. And one of the points of contention is that it would have been a declaration of war on every other country because the U.S. declared war on Hawaii. But it's just one of my passionate points. I feel like Hawaii is not part of the United States. I'm not an American. I'm a Hawaiian, and it's been a pleasure, you guys.
Peace, man.
Peace. I'll try and get back.
Yeah, peace, man. Good talking to you.
Take it easy, mate.
Much love.
Cheers, man.
Sorry about munching on the chat, Dale.
It's all right, mate.
I should know better.
Candy, you need to turn the volume.
Hi, hello.
Hiya.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to have discussion first time on Hangout, so I don't know how to use this whole computer system. You hear me?
Yeah, you're doing okay, man. I can hear you and see you.
Okay, yeah, I'm very glad, Del, about your interviews and watching almost when I have time, and it's really nice work you do, and I'm enjoying your discussion, and I was trying to connect to you 1 month ago, but it was difficult for me. So yes, and just I like people who joined today, and I decided just to join.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. So where are you? Where are you from?
I'm originally from Lithuania, and I'm living in Norway.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm almost 3 and 4 years in this in flat Earth, and I'm a professional diver, like instructor diver, and I know a lot about buoyancy and pressure, all these things, and it's like my everyday work.
Yeah.
So when people talking about gravity or things like that is so nonsense. It's in the air the same as underwater. We have pressure 1 bar on the surface of the and underwater we have every 10 meters 1 bar plus. So it means that the same physical things working underwater, same forces working on surface. So it's just buoyancy and density. So
Nice one.
so we can it's really it's not we cannot talk about density of the molecules or heavy or something. It doesn't matter. It's just density of the matter or the weight of the matter and the volume which decides position in the medium, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's easy to understand. I think it's designed that way. Everyone can get it. Everyone understands it. Dense things sink, light things float. That's it.
Yeah, it's so easy.
How deep have you been, man?
No, I didn't been very deep. I'm just like 50, 60 meters. I'm not technical diver, so I'm not going deep, and it's not good for health if you go very deep. So it's pressure works with your joints, with your brain, and things like that. And it's most who works in professional diving. So they like 50 years. They are so almost handicapped because of this pressure decompression cameras sitting 2 days, 3 days, and it's not very good for health. So I'm enjoying just diving for the sport and for the fun and things like that.
We certainly seem to be well suited for this atmospheric pressure that we live in, because as you say, I'm not a fucking whale or a jellyfish, so it gets difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah, but we are from water, so we in water is our.
What was the point? Get to the point.
Yeah, my point.
It's a bit harsh, man.
I know.
Yeah. So my point is that it doesn't matter. Water is like our nature. We are from water. We're drinking water, and it's like part of us. So when we go diving, so you just join these liquids. Some you are made of. So it's part of us. So it's that this space does not exist. So there is no cosmos like we imagine. We cannot fly weightless. We cannot fly weightless. But on the underwater, you can be weightless. You can fly. You can be some bird. So this is the point. And when we see this NASA bullshit or this Russian Roscosmos bullshit, so we see all this out of flying in the space underwater pool so it's just you can if you know a little bit about diving, you see that they are working underwater. And then you see in this space stations, so they just use this parabola with just with the plane zero gravity. And when I was watching this one Dell video about calling guy about explaining and things like that about the sophist thing, and was somebody was talking about the water, that he was seeing the water bubbles forms on exterior in the space. It's just free fall in parabola. The plane, when you drop the water drop in the air, it conforms in the ball, the water. And then the plane do parabola, so it means that everybody falling together with this water. So you can, just touch the water on the towel and do things what do you want, because you falling together with this drop of water.
You're accelerating at the same reference. Sorry.
The points are relevant because it's not a natural representation. It's not the reality that we live in.
It's just free fall. It's like the parachutist falling from the plane, and they drop water together, and they fall together with the water. Yeah.
But just to go back in what you said about the water, I mean, water is one of the, it's this thing that makes the whole thing absurd, what they're telling us, right? Everybody has the same experience when they lie back in a swimming pool, how you're immersed in water, you float in water, that feeling's very human, if you know what I mean. It's by every sentient being, and we're made of water, and water's always level, and we can feel it, we're part of it. Absolutely. Sorry.
You can mess with it with taking a breath. As soon as if you lie back in the water, breathe out and you sink.
Yeah. Yep. I was thinking that the other day, Dale. I remember being in the pool when I was wee, and you breathe out and you sink, and you breathe in and you go up. I mean, children can do that. It's for all to understand. It's simple, natural science that we can all understand.
But they want to baffle you. They want to baffle you and say, why does that happen? Though, it doesn't matter. That's what we observe, and that's what we know. So
it's like Mr. Pears the other day giving us all that shit. I was ready to kill myself, man. That was heavy. You know what I mean?
He's at it again. I seen one coming up tonight. I think it's saying locally flat. So I think he's going to be going with the angle of some drawing or computer generated image and showing you how flat it is when you zoom in.
I think I speak for everyone, Dale, when I say you should fucking ignore these people. I mean, if Gav can bamboozle them, you should let Gav deal with them, and you should get on with doing fucking the activism.
Thanks, man. I don't want that shit either.
You can fucking put them to shame.
I've got better things to do.
Well, I just fucking bin them then, just ignore them. Fuck.
Yeah, well, that's it. People can see through it now anyway, so it's too late for them. They've tried, but it's far too late.
It's amazing. The people that aren't academics are the people that can get this quicker. Isn't that ironic or a paradox, or I don't know what it is, but the people that
it's
always...
It's a tragedy for the profession. It's a tragedy for the profession. They should be ashamed of themselves, and I hope you're quite right, because they've all got the same common sense that we have too, so it's only the layer above that's fucking their heads,
Aye, it's a shame. It's mind control. It's slavery. It's abuse. Really, these poor. They think they're just doing good. They're just they're just achieving. They don't realise that they're fucking blind. It's a shame. But sometimes the way they talk to you, they're so arrogant. You forget it's a shame. You think you fucking arrogant bastard. They think they're better than you, but they're going to struggle. A lot of them are going to struggle with this, because this is for people that think normally and they think critically. And if you're indoctrinated, you can't think critically.
You need to be grounded, as they say.
Yeah.
I've got a son who's a science teacher. He's head of science, and I've never spoken to him about flat Earth. I've spoken to my daughters about flat Earth, and they both agree with me. But I've never spoken to my son about it, because he's a science teacher, and he won't go any further than that.
That'd be an interesting conversation to have on camera.
I've never had that conversation with him. He's a biology teacher, and
go for it, man.
That's where he's grounded in science,
He's indoctrinated
by
science, brainwashed by science.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's brainwashed by his degree.
But so he should be, because he wanted to do well for himself. It's not his fault.
Yeah, but he has done well for himself. Through no fault of his own, My daughter's got a sociology degree, and she's a fucking raving lunatic, She rebels against what she's been taught, and she agrees with everything I say. She agrees about flat Earth, and my other daughter is the same. She agrees about flat Earth as well, and saying, "You're right. I thought about it. You're right." So
once you drop the ego and you do think about it does become very obvious.
Yeah, you have to drop the ego.
You have to. It's essential. Absolutely essential.
Yeah.
It's not easy. No easy to accept. You've been, lied to. It's hard to take.
It is very hard.
It's fair.
I think it's harder to take that you bought it.
But it's better to, you know, admit you've been lied to. It was a fucking good lie. There's no shame in it.
No, but the longer time, as time passes, you see it clearer and clearer and how ridiculous it actually is.
Aye.
Yeah.
And the obvious, as I say, the obvious opposition to people who are simply questioning and wanting a discussion. You know, why do we have this opposition to that? You know, that's where people should be, you know, asking themselves questions.
Yeah, when there's two sides in the game, then it can't be the right thing to be looking at.
That's it. That's it.
I embraced the reality in 1979 when I was living in Northern Ireland, and I seen what the British Army was doing to the Irish. I understood what was going on. Well, at my young age, I never understood what was going on. But as years gone by, I understood exactly what the British were doing. They were fucking brainwashing, oppressing, and making people believe what is reality. You know, that was a long time ago. You know, and
well, they've done it everywhere, mate. You know, they've done it loads of places. You know,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's not just one specific area. This is everywhere.
The world's a fucking horrible place. But you know, if you think about it too much, you'll lose your mind.
Yeah, well, they've portrayed it in a certain way. I don't, you know, I know everybody's that way, man.
Oh, yeah, you know, there's enough of it to, you know, it's bad enough.
Well, for me, it's a minority, to be honest with you. You know, they're just running amok because good people just sit back waiting for a fucking saviour, waiting for somebody else to fix it for them. You know,
it's a good point. That's happening, whether it's God or an alien or yeah, you know, people are sitting back waiting for a mail order saviour. You know, it's not going to happen.
I mean, acquiescence is consent too, right? When you don't do anything, it's the same. And you've only got two choices. You've got of active power. You can either do something or you can not do it. So everybody needs to make that choice.
Yeah. Yep. Listen, Marshall, is there any requests for links or anything?
No.
So I'm wrap it up. I'm done.
All right, cool. Just before you do, Dal, can I thank Candy because reassuring a lot of people from a qualified perspective about the footage of astronauts in space looking exactly the way he views it when he is under the water at whatever depth it is he's diving at. So people can be a little bit more assured now from a qualified opinion that what they're seeing is actually recorded as something for.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thanks for that.
All the different people. Yeah, absolutely.
Aye, cheers for everybody for coming. That's the point. You know, there's new faces coming, then I'll keep it going. We need to keep coming forward. Candy, what is your name, man? If you don't mind me asking.
My name is Kostas.
Kostas.
Yeah.
Oh, nice to meet you, mate.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Aye.
And I would like to talk about this propaganda and programming, and it's very difficult for people to break it because they are programmed from the day first they born, and it's like they looking at the world through the programs. It's like from software in the computer, just working with the help of software, and this software is the programming of our brain, and it's we view the world through this program, and because of that, it's very difficult to get to the people, and then you talk, and to realize that you must awake, you must this bubble of software in your head must collapse, must explode. You must clear your mind that you can see clearly, isn't it? But now we're looking through these programs, and it's very difficult, and the life when we're born, a life starts from the abusing, in the, like a woman gives birth to child, not a natural environment, in the hospital, like sick woman, and then this medical personnel takes blood from the child to this blood bank, or they call it private blood bank. Nobody knows what they do with this blood, so they take a big amount of blood from the baby. So the pain induced in this child. I'm not talking about other religions like Jewish, who is circumcised on the fifth day of the. So you can imagine what suffering they going through, and it's what shut down the brain. So it's you see, it's very difficult to get to the people, because they just like in a sleep state, like in dreaming state. They cannot see the truth, and it's
we can find ways to affect people when it's happening. It is spreading, so just be patient. Find your own way to affect them.
Yeah, it's coming. It's more and more people coming, and it's changing. But it's really difficult. It should collapse. Not one software in the brain. It should collapse many hundred softwares. Some is induced and programmed in our brain and consciousness. So it takes time.
So about a total clear out and letting go of things that you think you know, and realising what we don't know, and if we can get to that point and clear, as you say, the program's out, we can get somewhere. But people need to stop assuming to think they know things when they don't. So, but listen, guys, thanks for coming on. Costas, Chaz, Chris, Gav,
thank you,
RG, everybody.
Thanks.
Take care, everybody.
Just want to say cheerio, guys. Thanks a lot. Remember, Big John's there. Anyone that wants to make a video, tell their story, get in touch with him. It doesn't cost you a penny. Tell your story on camera.
Good stuff, man. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Take it easy, guys. Awesome.
Cheers, man. Good night.
Everybody in the chat, thanks very much. Good to see people coming forward. Thanks again, Costas. As long as people keep coming forward, I'll keep it going. Take it easy, guys. Cheers.